All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one of John and Jim. We've got our Padres watch party underway. Full in-game and post-game reaction with the Padres facing elimination, but off to the fast start and leading 3-0, as Jim just told you. The big moment of the game to this point was a decision the Cubs made, which was to pitch to Manny Machado with the base open, with the lefty Shota Imanaga on the mound. Spoiler alert, if you're watching on replay, it didn't work for the Cubs, and it worked brilliantly for the Padres. That 2-run home run has given the Padres, Jim, breathing room. They already led 1-0, but we said yesterday, hard to sit on a 1-0 lead. They couldn't complete it. Now sitting on a 3-0 lead, it feels like the calculus has changed. The game isn't over, but the Padres have the lead, trying to force that decisive game 3 tomorrow at some point in Chicago.
I can't believe what Craig Counsell did there. I'm literally at a loss for words. I don't know how this game's going to end, or if the Padres advance, how game 3 would end. Right? The Padres win today, game 3.
Yep.
I don't think it's too big of a reaction to say that moment, pitching to Manny there, leaving Imanaga in with a base open, may have cost the Cubs their season. Like, I don't feel like that's too out of the realm of that's not something crazy to say in this moment right now.
I mean, you might be right in 25, 26 hours. What makes it to me like egregious and a huge win for the Padres. And again, the magnifying glass on Craig Counsell after this, if the Cubs lose, is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable, the reaction in Chicago. But what makes it so egregious is you went with an opener to avoid facing Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado with Shota Imanaga. And then there you are later in the game, and they challenge Tatis. He walks, and then Machado takes him deep. So it didn't seem to make any sense. Maybe it's the break that the Padres were just looking for. Everything was so hard, Jim, for the Padres. They're continuing to not hit with runners in scoring position. Only run coming after the double steal. They needed something to lighten the room, right? To let the air out a little bit, to breathe a little bit. They take advantage of a mistake. Simple as that. A tactical mistake by the Chicago Cubs. How you could ever allow that to happen against Manny Machado makes no sense. And it's 3-0. And now you got the benefit of your bullpen. You've already seen Adrian Moore home behind Dylan Cease, who was sensational. Just sensational today in 3 2/3 innings. You got Mason Miller. You got Robert Suarez. You have your A team. And the game isn't over. But if you win this, you feel like you have momentum heading into game 3.
Yeah, that's exactly the momentum that this team needed to potentially propel themselves to a game 3 tomorrow afternoon. I just, Manny was due. And by due, I mean really due. He needed to have a big moment. He had one earlier in the game when there was a runner on second, 2 outs. He did not come through there.
Right.
To the point of before the home run, he was 0 for in the series. And then with that one swing of the bat, potentially, change their season. That could have been a game-changing, season-changing swing of the bat from Manny Machado right there. And boy, did they desperately need it.
What do we say?
Oh, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
But as Manny goes.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
So when you, this is a classic play with fire situation from Chicago. When you allow Manny to do damage, that's the last thing you want to do. You have 2 options there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walk him, there's a base open, or just go to your bullpen. So you had 2 options in that spot. They chose neither, and then Manny makes them pay. But when you get Manny going, you're asking for trouble, because we all know when Manny's homering, when Manny's impactful, Padres are winning a lot of games. Padres have not been homering, right? Now you get the big home run. Right? They were out homered yesterday. Now you get the big home run, not even a solo home run. You get the 2-run home run. So it's all the things that were not working in your favor yesterday are now in your favor. You're leading them in home runs. You get the multi-run home run, maybe a kickstart Manny Machado. This is exactly what we all asked for. Dylan Cease did his part. Manny Machado, because of a poor decision by Craig Counsell, it was probably worse than that, did his part. Now you have your bullpen. I don't even know where the Cubs would turn if this thing goes 3 games from a starting pitching perspective. They have to win this game, and there's still plenty of time for this to change. But this is everything you would have asked for. I would never ask for more than this in game 2. This is everything you could ask for to this point in the game heading to the bottom of the 6th inning.
So Dylan Cease was fantastic today. I thought pulling him in that moment, it was an interesting decision by Mike Shildt because you put on the go-ahead run there to have a lefty-lefty matchup, and you needed it to work out, and it worked out for him. But I thought Dylan Cease today was phenomenal in his time out there on the mound. I thought that his stuff looked crisp. I thought that, he was locating very well. I don't think there was a lot of hard contact against Dylan Cease, to be honest with you. I thought that Dylan Cease controlled that game. I think he maybe gave up, a double, or he might have given up one hit. I think it was. And he was fantastic. Just fantastic, Dylan Cease today. I'm on the side of you don't want to tempt it here. We talked about this yesterday. You did not want to tempt fate with Dylan Cease, even if he was pitching well. You wanted to pull the plug before anything bad could happen. And that's exactly what happened today. You got the best out of Dylan Cease. You didn't push it. And now you hand it over to your bullpen that you have, relied on heavily all year long to get you through this game. And that's what's happening right now.
It was the Suzuki double that chased Cease. So it was a double, then the intentional walk. I would not fault Mike Shildt even if that didn't come through. That's what everyone was asking for. Everyone was asking for, hey, the second there's a sign of trouble, go to your bullpen. And you went left with Morejon against PCA, who has really struggled, and specifically really struggled against left-handed pitching, and he got him in that spot. So, that's the only decision really for Mike Shildt to make. Your season was on the complete line in that spot. You're going to trust Dylan Cease in that spot? Or you're going to go to the guy that's done it all year long in Adrian Morejon. So it worked out beautifully. Mike Shildt's made the right decisions to this point tonight, and Craig Counsell hasn't. We've talked about Mike Shildt at times maybe being outmanaged in the postseason. Not today.
Oh,
He's
not
got
today.
the upper hand.
Not today. As of right now, clear as day advantage Mike Shildt today. I think, in Chicago, if the Cubs go on to lose this game and they go on to lose this series now, that moment will be talked about all off season, and Craig Counsell's going to get just absolutely killed for it.
It's hard to overcome something like that. I get it. It's hard. It's the postseason. Every decision, everyone's got the benefit of hindsight, but that was that was a poor decision. Obviously, that was a dumb decision by Craig Counsell to face Manny Machado. Now the Padres have reaped the rewards. They still have, again, the full complement of the relievers. Look at this. Adrian Morejon is working his 3rd inning of relief. Came on in the 4th, got out. Worked a scoreless 5th. Now starts the 6th inning. Just had a ball go off his foot to first base. That would have been a single. So Padres catching some breaks. You can go right back to Mason Miller. You can go to Robert Suarez for a first time in the series. And now you're just counting outs, trying to get those final 11 outs to win game 2.
It could not have gone better today up to this point for the Padres. And, you have Mason Miller ready to go. You have a rested Robert Suarez, and now just finish this thing off. Just finish this thing off as Morejon now has gone 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Just finish this thing off today, and tomorrow I think advantage Padres. I really do, because I don't know. I don't know who's going to start for the Cubs. We know it's going to be Yu Darvish for the Padres, and like I said yesterday, all you have to do is win today to put the pressure right back on the Cubs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, I don't know what the Padres bullpen will look like tomorrow. I think everyone's going to be available.
I think so too.
So it's whatever, all hands on deck. Yes, Morejon's he's trying to get 7 outs. I mean, that's a big workload, but you know what? Whatever. Tomorrow, all hands on deck. I'm sure nobody's going to be you know what? I'm down. I threw 33 pitches yesterday. I'm unavailable. That would surprise me.
Now, here's a question for you. Do we see Jeremiah Estrada in this game?
No, I don't think we
Or do we see Jeremiah Estrada at all in the rest of the series?
I wouldn't think so. My guess, if you get this out to 5-6 runs, I think you may see him. I think if it remains at 3, 4, even 5 runs, here's what I would do. After Morejon gets this final out in the 6th inning, I go to Mason Miller. And I'm trying to tighten that thing up as much as possible. I want no bridges anywhere. I don't want any susceptibilities. I don't want anything leaky. I go to Mason Miller, get as many outs as I can, then I turn it over to Robert Suarez for as many outs as I can get. There's your game.
Who gets the 5 outs? Because you got to go through 9.
Because Miller yesterday pitched would be my guess.
So 5 outs for Suarez?
That would be, as opposed to pitching. Jeremiah Estrada has not pitched well. So Jeremiah Estrada has allowed base runners constantly and hard hit contact, home runs. So like Estrada is no longer in my like high leverage back end plans. Right? You're gonna trust Jeremiah Estrada today?
The only way I trust Jeremiah Estrada is, like you said, the
Large-
Padres, push this to like 5 runs. If you can tack on a couple more runs here, I would then put Jeremiah Estrada out there to lessen the load for Miller and
Right.
Suarez. Because at this point in time, it kind of feels like in Mike Schultz's mind, he's got 3 relievers he's going to out of the bullpen right now.
Mm-hmm.
And after Morahone here, it's Miller and it's Suarez. I would be actually kind of surprised if he goes to Jeremiah Estrada in the 7th. If he does, it has to be the quickest of hooks. As soon as he faces 3 batters, hopefully he gets an out or 2.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. Then I'm going to Miller.
Yeah, that's why I would go to Miller unless the Padres can tack on in the 7th inning if they can keep this 3-0 lead. As by the way, Adrian Morahone, he threw 33 pitches today. I mean, I would think that they would potentially turn to him again if they need him tomorrow. So Adrian Morahone is through 2 1/3 innings.
Are you ahead of me?
And the Padres lead 3-0.
Oh, you're watching on Gamecast.
Yeah.
So Gamecast is ahead of the TV.
Yeah, or TV, but I feel like,
Yeah,
I don't think it's ahead of radio. 3-0 Padres through 6.
And here's the thing about Adrian Morahone, as he's thrown 33 pitches today, I think you cut that off. You don't see how many more outs you can get from him because now you're thinking about tomorrow. You're in a point of the game where you're up 3-0. You're in the back half of the game where you have things lined up for the rest of this one, where you also now have to start thinking about tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah, he can't keep pitching.
No, he's done.
Yeah, he can't keep pitching
because you need him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so you're done. You're now starting to think about tomorrow as well, while also making sure that you get through this game. Because obviously, if they lose here, and the Cubs would have to, this would be an all-time collapse if the Padres ended up losing this game.
Well, with this bullpen, this is the whole season, right? Hey, Super Pen, best bullpen in the sport. Outmatched yesterday by the Cubs. This is the spot why you have Mason Miller. But this is why you sign Robert Suarez that massive deal.
Fantastic job though by Cease and Morahone, keeping the Cubs, in check all day long. There's some really bad at bats from the Cubs today. I mean, PCA, that guy looks as lost as you could look at the plate. I mean, he has had some of the worst swings of the series.
The 2 big moments in this game are managerial decisions.
Yeah.
Schilt going to Morahone, win.
Yep.
Clear win. Counsell pitching to Machado, clear loss. That is essentially the difference in this game.
It is, yeah.
With the Padres now leading 3-0 through 6 innings. All right, we're going to hear from Mike Schilt and Craig Counsell when this game is final. What will Counsell say if the Cubs don't win this game 2 at Wrigley Field? Plus, we'll have reaction once this game goes final. We're watching it with you. A little bit of a watch party. Game 2 must win for the Padres to force that decisive game 3. They're heading to the 7th inning at Wrigley Field in Chicago. 3-0 Padres. Kevin Acee, by the way, will join us from Wrigley Field coming up after the game at 5:30. We're here until 6 p.m. We're just underway. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Padres and Cubs. Once it goes final, we'll hear from Mike Schild, Cubs manager Craig Counsell, Padres players as well. Padres trying to force that decisive third game at Wrigley. By the way, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. It's the Bonus Bucks giveaway. Every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 3 p.m. All right, so we've moved here to the top of the seventh inning. Padres have been in control here, leading 3-0. They're 9 outs away defensively from forcing that third game. And we'll see what Mike Schild wants to do. What do you think he does as now we head to the bottom of the seventh inning? Who comes on here for San Diego?
Mason Miller. I think you're going Miller here. You're in the middle of the Cubs lineup with Suzuki, Kelly, and PCA. That's the lane that you want to have Miller in.
Mm-hmm.
I think Miller, if he can get through a quick seventh here, going to be tough. I mean, you're facing the middle of the Cubs lineup, but if he can get through the seventh here, you're going to keep him in there for the eighth, get as many outs as possible, depending on the pitch count, and then you're going to Suarez for the rest of the game. That's my guess here.
If the Padres win this game, where is this moment for Manny in a Padres uniform? Right towards the top, right?
That's a great question.
Now, again, we don't know what happens tomorrow. Got to win this series.
You have to win tomorrow
to kind of make it a legacy moment.
I'm trying to think.
And he's homered a lot in the postseason.
Right. He has 8 in his career now. Like we said yesterday, he has at least 1 or more in every postseason that the Padres have played in. I think in 2022, he had 1 in every series, every round.
That's right. In 3 rounds. Yep.
Yeah. But he didn't have like an overall good postseason.
Right.
John,
at the top.
This has to lead to them winning the series, though.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
If they win the series, I mean, tomorrow we could have a big moment as well. But I don't think, and they were winning this game. It wasn't like they were trailing, but still 1-0 lead in the postseason. That's hard to hold.
Yep.
I think that might have been Manny's biggest moment in a Padres uniform.
That's where I was going to go. I mean, again, it's such recency and it's hard to remember everything over 7 years, but you basically boil it down to 4 postseasons.
Right.
This being his 4th.
Last year he was awful.
I mean, 2020, he didn't have that moment.
He hit a homer off of Kershaw, but they ended up losing the game.
Right. They got swept in that series.
Yeah.
2020 was more defined by the 2 home run games by Will Myers and Fernando Tatis Jr.
Correct. He didn't, I don't remember Manny doing much in games 2 and 3 at Petco. And
Manny hit a homer at Citi Field in that wild card series, right?
Off Kershaw. And then.
No, at Citi Field, it wasn't off Kershaw.
Or not Citi Field.
Who did he hit it off at Citi Field?
I forget.
But anyway, he's had some, but this feels like one of, this is not the top, it's close to the top.
This is the moment. This is the moment. They're struggling as a team to score runs. To that point, they were 0 for on the day with runners in scoring position. I still think they're 0 for on the day with runners in scoring position, right?
I can look that up.
Or
Padres today with runners in scoring position are?
They're 0 for 7 or 0 for 8.
How about 1 for 11? How's that possible? They're 1 for 11.
I think they may have got an infield single.
They've had 11
at
bats with runners in scoring position?
Yeah, up until the point where Manny hit that 2-run homer, I'm pretty sure they were 0 for 7 or 0 for 8.
Yeah.
Now, there wasn't a runner in scoring position when he hit that 2. No, there was. Just kidding. So that 1 was the home run.
They had the base open.
Yeah, they had the base open. That was it. That one hit was the 2-run homer.
Yeah. It's just a massive moment. I mean, massive.
You're right. It will go down depending on what happens here. If they end up winning this series, then I mean, depending on how far they go potentially, I mean, they still have a lot to get to before we talk about that. But just winning this series in particular, that moment from Manny today has to go
at the top.
At the top, it has to go at the top.
Mason Miller, by the way, as we speculated on over the last 20 minutes, he kind of had to pitch in this spot. What Mike Schild has elected to do is what an aggressive manager should do facing elimination.
Yep.
So maybe he hurt some feelings. Maybe Dylan Cease wants to get through the 4th inning. Who cares? There is no tomorrow. Maybe Gavin Sheets wanted to bat for himself in the 4th inning. Sorry. Maybe, listen, that's a part of it. So maybe you're right. Jeremiah Estrada was in the regular season pitching in these spots. He's not today.
Nope.
Because he hasn't been near as effective as Mason Miller. So like this is everything. You can't make tactical mistakes in games like this. And so far,
Don't lead off the inning with the walk.
No, so far Mike Schilt has done his job.
Oh, wow. Miller just blowing 103 by Suzuki. Oh, this guy's incredible.
I'll say this. Padres pitchers with the swing and miss stuff. Think about it. Pivetta, all the strikeouts. Obviously, Cease today, thrown 100 routinely. I think he threw 109 times in this game. Mason Miller's going to throw 103, 104 here today. It's tough. I don't care what your lineup looks like, and Chicago's got a good lineup. That makes it very difficult.
It does.
I mean, the Cubs have scored, what, 3 runs in
the series?
15, 16 innings.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Padres are outscoring the Cubs in the series 4-3.
And with a chance to get even in this series. This is what playoff baseball should look like. It's very rarely 10-8. This is what you'd expect.
Yeah, they're close, low-scoring games, big moments with runners in scoring position, tactical moves. Yep. Can you make the move that works? And if it doesn't work, then you get blamed for it. Like it was a couple moments in yesterday's game. And as this thing's shaping up, there's a couple moments in this game that we're going to heavily talk about once this thing goes final, with hopefully the Padres winning. But, there's still, what do we got?
8 outs.
8 outs left to go. And you got, 3 or 4 moments in this game that I can think of off the top of my head from both sides that you're like, all right, that's the game.
I mean,
that's postseason baseball.
We haven't even mentioned that before Machado's home run, it looked like he may have
hurt himself,
really injured himself. He went hard into that third base wall with a slide and came up limp, but of course stayed in the game.
104 on the outside corner from Mason Miller, strike 3.
This is why when people said, hey, you're giving up a lot for Mason Miller, but these are the moments where Mason Miller is going to be asked to pitch a lot, hopefully in his Padres career.
Is that not the most perfect pitch you could throw?
Unhittable. Truly unhittable.
Good luck, dude.
This is a guy that in a Padres uniform, I mean, it didn't skip a beat, right? Putting his first pennant race of his career, pitching in the postseason for the first time in his career, pitched well yesterday, has started this outing very well. This is why you're willing to trade away top prospects. Doesn't mean you're going to win a World Series, but this is why you would consider trading away top prospects for someone.
Is anybody thinking about Leo DeVries right now?
But I heard a lot about it in the immediate, I mean, we've heard a lot about it even in the days leading up to the postseason when the Padres weren't winning the division, or it seemed like it was going to be hard to win on the road. But look at what Mason Miller has meant to this series so far.
Yeah. When you have a weapon like this, that's what you want in the postseason. Like that weapon out of the bullpen that is throwing gas. I don't think we've seen Miller hit 104 all year long with the Padres.
Yeah, I don't know if we have either.
I think 103, and he's hit 103 twice in this at bat against PCA, and then 104 on the black.
Yeah, I mean,
what, dude? Are you serious?
And this is a guy you got for years. This isn't a guy for one postseason.
Well, he's obviously your closer of the future.
Yeah.
And in the postseason here, you can max out a little bit more than in the regular season. In the regular season, you kind of have to maybe dial back just a tad bit, right?
For these moments.
But in these moments, you max yourself out. And that's what we're seeing here from Mason Miller. See if he can get through the inning, which he might, hopefully he does here. And that would be just an incredible weapon to have. An incredible weapon.
Remember, we talked about Jeremiah Estrada. I think he made 77 appearances in the regular season.
How many did Mason Miller make? I'm going to say
just
50.
60.
Okay, 60.
Just 60 this year for Mason Miller. All right, we'll keep you updated. It's 3-0 Padres through 7. That time with the breaking ball. Just unhittable stuff for Mason Miller, who I think will start the bottom of the 8th inning as well. 3-0 Padres. They head to the 8th. We're here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. Padres trying to force that decisive third game of the wild card series. Stay with us on John and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by eBay. Padres Cubs game 2 of the 3-game series. Padres facing elimination today. They lead the Cubs 3-0 in the top of the 8th inning. Manny Machado with a massive 2-run homer earlier in the contest. Earlier this afternoon, Guardians, they staved off elimination as they beat the Tigers 6-1, forcing a game 3 in that series. Later tonight, Yankees, Red Sox, actually 3:08 first pitch in New York. Red Sox lead that series 1-0. And then Dodgers Reds, game 2 of that series, 6:08 p.m. tonight. Dodgers lead that series 1-0 over the Reds. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. They've moved to the 8th inning, where the Padres, as Jim just told you, are leading 3-0. The response you were hoping to see, by the way, first inning run. How many times did we talk about that yesterday? Give yourself some breathing room. They did it. Now, they led yesterday and couldn't hold it. But then when you could kind of breathe a little easier is the Machado moment. Again, didn't win you the game. We don't know how this ends. Teams have blown 3-run leads before, right? But it gave you that wiggle room, that breathing room that Morejon and Miller have not needed, by the way. Now, we don't know if they would have needed it. If it was 1-0, it's harder to pitch in a 1-0 game than a 3-0 game. But like I said this earlier, and this could be my point until something changes here today. This is everything you were hoping for. Everything. This is the way you wanted it to go. You weren't hoping for, I hope they score 20 runs. No. Realistically, this was everything you were hoping for. The early lead, the Machado moment, Cease looking like Dylan Cease of 2024 in the regular season, and then your bullpen doing its thing. Everything you would have asked for to this point in the game, which is not over, is what you've gotten to this point.
I'm pretty sure we mapped this out yesterday where it's like, Cease, get to the 4th.
Get to the 4th. Yeah, I think you said get through 4. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to get through 4, but yeah, you were close.
Even if Cease is pitching beautifully, you don't take the risk. Yep. They didn't take the risk. Hopefully you're leading 2-0 or 3-0.
Yep.
They weren't leading 3-0 at the time.
1-0.
It was 1-0, but still they had a lead. You go to Morejon to bridge the gap, and we'll see about the rest, but you're getting multiple from Mason Miller, you're getting multiple from Suarez, you're getting multiple from Adrian Morejon, and so far that's exactly what's happened.
What do you think they want to do in the 8th? So Miller has thrown to just 6 batters the last 2 days. You clearly want him tomorrow.
How many pitches?
Mason Miller today has not thrown. I mean, he struck out everyone, so it's got to be at least 10 plus. But he threw 15 pitches, 9 strikes.
I think he threw 12 yesterday.
Is that what it was? To strike out 3?
Let me double check on that.
But I think he starts the 8th inning, because I'm not turning to Robert Suarez for 6-out save.
He threw 13 yesterday.
So he's good. I think he can start the 8th inning. The question is, are you looking for 1 out? Are you looking for 2? Or are you looking for 3? Or would you even potentially turn it over to Robert Suarez to start the 8th inning? I wouldn't. I don't think that makes sense to me. I would start the inning with Mason Miller. He's already faced 3 batters. You can go to Suarez at any point in the bottom of the 8th inning if you want to.
My guess, Miller for an out, 5-out save. Because he's done it before.
Yep.
He's done it before. And that's what I think is going to happen here. They do not want to use Jeremiah Estrada. They do not want to use Wandy Peralta. Because if you bring any of those guys in, they got to face 3 batters minimum. And right now, you are at the bottom of the Cubs lineup. Swanson, Shaw, and then it turns over to Bush. So like,
try to get 2 outs from Miller and then go to someone other than Suarez, then the clean inning for Suarez. At that point, I would just keep Miller on the mound, as opposed to get cute and put like Wandy Peralta in there with 2 outs in the inning or whomever.
Yeah, would you go Wandy to finish off the inning against Bush? I personally wouldn't tempt it.
Right. But this will be interesting because I think obviously the first things first, need to win. Second, you want to have the full complement available to you tomorrow, which you will. It's not like Mason Miller's down tomorrow.
Here's the thing. I get it. Now I said you have to start thinking about tomorrow now as well. But
you got to get through this game.
They got to do this game.
Yeah, but either way, by getting through this game, I think everyone remains available. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing they've done here that would put someone in a situation where you're like, oh, well, he can't go.
Yeah, everybody's available for tomorrow's game because
why wouldn't they be?
It's all hands on deck, just
exactly.
like how it was all hands on deck today.
Yep.
Now it went beautifully for the Padres because they didn't have any moment early in the game where it was red alert.
That's right.
Like they had Morejon up early. But that's the whole thing. It was like, all right, Morejon, we're getting you in the game early if it calls for that. And Dylan Cease, to his credit, man, and give a lot of credit to Dylan Cease today because he pitched. It was
as well as you could ask.
It was phenomenal. Yeah. I know it was only 3 2/3 or whatever it was. I think it was 3 2/3. 3 2/3 today. I mean, you could not have asked for anything more because, his postseason numbers awful. His road numbers this year awful. And he went out there and he shoved for how many was it? It was not 3, 6, 9, 11 outs.
11 outs. He didn't walk anyone until an intentional walk. And then, like, if I'm gonna kill Craig Counsell for pitching to Manny Machado, and I will, with Shota Imanaga, then I'm gonna praise Mike Schilt for going to a lefty to face PCA. Both things are true. Machado cannot face the lefty to Imanaga, and PCA cannot be facing Dylan Cease, even if he's struggling. That doesn't make any sense. You can't tempt fate. You have to work with your advantages. And that's what Schilt did. It's what Counsell didn't do. It's a huge reason why the Padres might win this game. Maybe they would have won otherwise. Cubs aren't winning without scoring, in fact. So maybe they win otherwise. But I think it's a big reason why the Padres are in position, at least, to capture the second game. And then who the hell knows if they can get this to a third game, what tomorrow looks like both ways. We'll get into that once this game is final. They still have to record 6 outs. However, they need to record those 6 outs. They need to hold this 3-0 lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could not have gone better to this point for the Padres. Fingers crossed here that they could finish this thing off. I can't wait to hear what Counsell has to say post game.
I think if I'm Counsell, by the way, and they lose this game, I just take accountability for it. I put none of it on Imanaga. I just say, you know what? That's my bad. Here's the reason why I did it. With the benefit of hindsight, I shouldn't have. Even in real time, I was second guessing myself. That's on me. That's what I would say. It's hard to be over. Once you hear that from a manager, all right, I kind of respect it if he said something like that. What else could you say? Hey, I love the matchup. No, you don't.
No.
No, you don't. Imanaga allowed 12 home runs his last 6 starts.
And the whole point
of the opener
was
to face.
Right. You had it lined up. And if you're going to keep Imanaga out there to face, by the way, Miller's back on the mound. If you're going to have Imanaga out there to face Manny, you already faced Manny one time and you got lucky that nothing happened. So facing him a second time is like lunacy. Suicide.
Yeah, it's lunacy.
It is insane. But from the Padres perspective, because we're sitting here, we're hoping the Padres win. Obviously, it's like amazing moment, a moment that Manny had to come through, and he did come through, and that's what we've been talking about. And he's had other big moments in his career in a Padres uniform. And yes, are we in the moment? Probably. But again, if you want to go to his Game 2 homer in 2022 at Dodger Stadium when they're down 0-1 in the series. Remember that? And it was against Kershaw.
Yeah, of course.
And that propelled them to win Game 2.
And then they won the next 2 games.
And they won the next 2 games.
Good point.
You can go there and then go into the NLCS. Absolutely. I think I might put this one slightly above that just because this is an elimination game. That wasn't. Now, you could argue that technically was an elimination game because if you go down 0-2 to the Dodgers, you're done. You're not winning that series. But technically it wasn't. This is. And with how Manny struggled down the stretch in the second half, in the series so far, had a moment earlier in the game with the runner at second to drive them in, and he didn't get it done. He got it done in that moment. And so that's why I think to this point, you could argue that's the biggest moment in Manny's career, unless they go on to lose this series. They have to go on to win for that to be elevated.
Mason Miller is at 20 pitches here today. He's working to the first batter in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's Dansby Swanson. So we know he's getting at least one batter here in the 8th. I would assume we're not watching with volume because we're doing a radio show, John Fact. I'm assuming Robert Suarez is up. As Miller has struck out another. He has struck out the first 7 batters he's faced in postseason play in his career. 7 up and 7 down with 7 strikeouts to begin his postseason career. Has anyone ever done that? in baseball history.
You let this ride?
Yeah, I want to.
Are they letting it ride here?
This is like, put this on the Padres.tv commercial next year. 7 up and 7 down.
Will he break the record in this series?
In the postseason? Well, are we okay, so there's a meeting at the mound.
Is this to give maybe Suarez some time?
He struck out 10 straight, including the regular season.
Oh my gosh, dude. This guy's insane.
Absolutely insane. Looks like he's staying out there, Jim.
20. Now you're kind of running a little bit of a risk here.
Of just the workload?
Just for tomorrow. Just for tomorrow. That's it.
But what's going to happen? You're saying in terms of maybe his effectiveness, he's certainly still going to be available.
I mean, come on, he's gonna be available tomorrow. I'm not saying
it doesn't matter if he throws 30
Who
pitches and
cares?
35. Yeah,
his effectiveness, yeah.
Yep.
Cubs can't hit a fastball. Mason Miller's best pitch is his fastball. Actually, it might be his slider, to be honest with you. But still, no one's hitting his 103.
No one's hitting his 103.
Especially if you're locating. Good luck.
By the way, that 104.5 you mentioned before, is the fastest pitch in postseason history under pitch tracking, which started in 2008. Fastest pitch ever since they started tracking pitches in 2008 for Mason Miller in postseason history. That's about 20 years. So, again, to ask for more from Mason Miller, well, that's not possible. 7 up and 7 down in the postseason, trying to preserve this 3-0 lead in the 8th inning. And then we see when they go to Robert Suarez. Is it in the 8th inning? Is it in the 9th inning?
I mean, you even got Colin Cowherd on Twitter right now talking about Mason Miller.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Transcendent afternoon for Mason Miller and the Padres. I mean, his stuff is so filthy.
This is his coming out party. This is his first time in his career he's actually on a big stage. And he is a big-time pitcher, and he's showing it right now. If he gets through this inning or if he gets another out and they go to Suarez for a 4-out save, I mean, could not have asked for any more.
I mean, I get the AJ Preller long-time infatuation.
Has he struck him out again? Oh, my gosh.
8 for 8 to start the postseason for Mason Miller.
This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, nobody's ever done it. There's no way in the history of baseball someone has struck out the first 8 batters they faced in their postseason career. No way. No way that's ever happened in baseball history. And Mason Miller has done it the last 2 days. There is no comp for what he's doing right now. And he stays out there.
They're keeping him out there.
Sure, just stay in.
Is he going 6 up, 6 down here?
Is he going 9 up, 9 down? I mean, yeah.
But this is where I know that in the moment you want him to just strike out the side again.
Yep.
But you also have to start thinking, like I said, you have to start thinking about tomorrow. And you're at 26 pitches right now with Mason Miller.
Now worry about tomorrow.
I get it.
Well, he just hit a batter.
I get it. But at the same time, John, you don't want to overwork him, even though he's just blowing down everybody. Pause.
He just hit a batter, so the 8 for 8 streak of strikeouts to begin his postseason career is over. I would assume that's his last batter.
You're pulling him. You have to.
Yeah. You have to be careful here. Tying run in the on-deck circle, 3-run game. Robert Suarez presumably is going to come in here for a 4-out save. We need to take a break. We're going to be with you for all the post-game reaction. Padres trying to hold on. Here comes Mike Schilt.
Yeah, you have to.
He will make the move to Robert Suarez. Padres are leading 3-0 with a runner on for the Cubs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Padres hoping to force that decisive game 3 tomorrow in Chicago. Don't go anywhere. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, Padres 3 outs away from forcing a decisive game 3. We just had 8th inning drama. Mason Miller strikes out 8 consecutive batters to begin his playoff career, then hits a batter. We told you about that. Robert Suarez comes on. Nico Horner rips a ball into the right field corner, and Fernando Tatis Jr. does what he does and makes a leaping play in the corner near foul ground to preserve the 3-0 game. If that ball falls in, it's 3-1. The tying runs at the plate in the 8th inning.
That's just a hell of a play by Tatis.
Play.
Hell of a play. That is why he's going to win the Platinum Glove this year in the National League.
That was massive.
Massive. Just a massive. And after the second pitch in the inning, we both looked at each other because it was a ball low, and we're like, uh-oh. No.
And then again, what was hit there by Horner was like a straight fastball away. He ripped that thing.
He did.
Into the right field corner. Anyone else other than Tatis is not getting to it. Tatis with those long strides somehow gets that ball off the bat. You're like, there's no chance. The ball's in the corner.
It's
down the right field line.
And now, if the Padres can't tack on any more runs here.
Right. What do they have in the bottom of the ninth, the Cubs?
Bottom of the ninth, Happ, Tucker, Suzuki.
Yeah, that's why it was so big for Tatis to just make that play.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
You're working right into the middle of the order. It would have been the tying run at the plate in the 8th inning.
Even though it's 3-0, I mean, unless they bump this lead to 5 or 6 here,
It's
which
still tricky.
It's nail biting time because Robert Suarez, when's the last time he pitched? Saturday?
Yeah, they used him over the weekend. They did.
He hasn't pitched at all in this series.
Nope.
I mean, the Cubs batters are probably thinking to themselves,
it's not Mason Miller.
God, we're not facing Mason Miller.
Not Adrian Moreholm.
And it sucks too, because like you think about it and you want Miller to be this team's closer.
Right.
But then it's like, where's the lane for Suarez? Because he's the closer. And you know, it reminds me of and I'm going way back. It reminds me of a Yankees situation back in the early 90s with Wetland as their closer and Mariano Rivera as their 8th inning guy.
That's right. Yeah.
Kind of feels a little bit the same.
That's interesting. I mean, I will say that Suarez, his last 3 outings of the regular season were 3 hitless, scoreless outings.
That's good.
So his last 3 were hitless and scoreless. In September, in general, he allowed runs in 3 outings. He's been good. He had a sub-3 ERA, a 2.97, but Mason Miller has truly been untouchable. As good as they come. Suarez is not Mason Miller.
Yeah.
But Robert Suarez has closed a lot of games in a Padres uniform and he'll try to do it again here today.
I'll say this. So if the Padres don't score here, I'm not counting Imanaga as part of their bullpen. I'm just not.
No, he's a starter.
Padres will have scored 1 run off the Padres of the Cubs bullpen if they don't score here. Kittredge is the guy that they scored off of in the first.
If not for a double steal sack fly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, look, it's a tight series. We said it going in. This feels like a coin flip.
Yeah.
Both had Padres in 3. I would have been surprised if either team went down quietly.
That's what we've seen.
That's what we've seen.
This is a little bit of like a prize fight. Cubs have shown their strengths in this series. The defense in game 1, the home runs.
Yeah.
Padres have shown their strength. The bullpen in game 2, Manny Machado, one of the great players in the history of the franchise, and Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the great fielders in the history of the franchise, who just made that play. So the teams have shown their strengths, and with 3 more outs, they'll meet again. With 3 more defensive outs, they'll meet again to decide it, and they'll do it at Wrigley Field. Will that matter or not? At this point, I'm not really thinking home road. I'm not right now thinking like, oh man, it's a decisive game 3, but they're on the road. That's not how I'm going to approach tomorrow. If they can get it to tomorrow.
No, when you're in an elimination game, winner take all.
It's not about where is the game. I mean, I don't think that's a huge factor, truthfully.
I don't either. When you're trailing in a series elimination game on the road, it's a factor.
Yeah.
Now today,
overcome it to this point.
They've overcome it, as you said, but elimination game on the road, it to me, it's not that big of a factor. It could be. The only factor is that the home team gets to bat last, right? And
is that how it works?
That is how it works. Padres overcame it in 2022 on the road against the Mets in an elimination game. But
who is starting for the Cubs tomorrow? I thought it might be Michael Soroka, who is now pitching in the 9th inning.
Tyon.
It'll be a full bullpen day. So Tyon, if he starts, will go an inning or 2, and then they'll just do the same song and dance.
Well, they have Palencia tomorrow as well for multiple outs.
He was great yesterday. Well, their bullpen yesterday was great.
They didn't really tax anybody in their bullpen today.
You're right.
So
I cannot wait. Again,
Oh my
Padres
gosh.
got to win this game. First things first. They need to
Win
win
the
this
game.
game. And then Mike Schilt pulled all the right strings. I'm going to be singing the praise of Mike Schilt all afternoon long. Okay? Because
100%.
we're the first to criticize.
100%.
I'm going to be the first to praise, and I'm going to be the first to criticize Craig Counsell.
Oh,
and it's not just me and you.
No.
It's the city of Chicago.
Yeah. I can't. And I see people in our chat on YouTube, and I'm sure the text line as well, like that don't understand why we are like Craig Counsell's an idiot for that situation there.
So egregious.
So egregious. It's probably one of the worst moves that you'll ever see in a postseason.
In the postseason.
Yeah.
In the postseason, you're so buttoned up in those spots, you don't even envision it's even possible to make that kind of. You have a whole bench staff. You know what I mean?
How did nobody go to Craig and be like, hey, bro.
Hey, maybe how about a timeout? Have the catcher go out there for a second. Let's talk about this for 20 seconds.
Heads up. This is the second time Imanaga's facing Manny.
And you didn't start Imanaga because you didn't want him to face Manny.
And you got a base open, and we got a righty up in the bullpen. Or if you want to just walk Manny and face Merrill, you can do that too. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Let's have Imanaga face Manny. Screw it.
Dice.
We're like, what?
We head to the bottom of the ninth inning at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Padres lead the Cubs 3-0. They are 3 outs away from forcing a decisive third game in this wild card series. Robert Suarez picked up the final out of the 8th inning. He'll be on to face the middle of the Cubs lineup in the 9th. Padres trying to force that third game. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll have full reaction. Again, we're going to hear from Mike Schilt this afternoon. We'll hear from Padres players, presumably Manny Machado, maybe Fernando Tatis Jr. and others. Craig Counsell will explain his decision earlier in the day to pitch to Manny Machado. But right now, can the Padres force that third game? They are 3 outs away. We'll take a timeout. We'll kick off hour 2 of John and Jim on the other side. In addition, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join the show coming up at 5:30. In addition, we have San Diego State football tickets to give away for Friday night. So we'll do that as well between now and 6 p.m. Hour 2 of John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app is next.
All right, this update is brought to you by eBay Motors. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Padres lead the Cubs 3-0. 1 out, 1 on. Seiya Suzuki at the plate. We'll keep you updated as that game goes on here. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it with eBay. You find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim. This is crunch time for the Padres, trying to force that third game. 3-0 in the 9th. 1 on, 1 out for Seiya Suzuki, who has homered in 5 consecutive games. Now, he is not the tying run. 1 on, 1 out, bottom 9, Robert Suarez, Seiya Suzuki. The Cubs need a base runner to send the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It's 3-0 Padres.
Woosah.
1 out, 1 on.
Oh,
as the battle continues between Suarez and Suzuki. Deep breaths. 9th innings, man. They feel a little different.
I mean, thank goodness it's a 3-0 lead.
Yeah,
here.
not 1-0.
If it was 1-0.
Oh my gosh, it feels
different.
Feel completely different. Yeah, Mason Miller, 5 outs in relief. Adrian Morejon, 7 outs in relief.
Whoa.
Dylan Cease, 3 2/3 scoreless innings. Everyone is standing at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Don't get the tying run of the plate.
That's the last thing you want.
That's the goal.
That's the last thing.
Even if you give up a 2-run homer, don't get the tying.
No, that would bring the tires to play, you idiot.
It would, you moron.
Even if you give up a 5-run.
Shut up, Jim. I'm nervous. Stop.
Who's on deck?
Who is it?
Who's on deck? Who's on?
Carson Kelly.
Carson Kelly homered yesterday.
Shut up. Oh.
So, okay. Here's the situation. It's a runner at first with 1 out. The count is full.
Oh, dude.
And again, if Suzuki reaches in any way, shape, or form, the tying run would come to the plate in the form of Carson Kelly. Does Mike Schilt have anyone up in the bullpen just in general?
I wouldn't. Why?
Just say what? Why? Because why not?
Are you going to take out Suarez, go to Wandy Peralta?
I don't know. I have no idea. All right. So this is a pretty big pitch, Jim.
You think so? Double
play.
Got him.
Got him. Third game coming up tomorrow. Double play ball ends it. Suarez on a 3-2 pitch gets out of trouble. Spins the 6-4-3 double play. Wow. For a second, I thought that ate up Cronenworth a little bit.
I thought it did too, but Seiya's doesn't run well.
Wow.
So he could take his time a little bit there.
So the Padres bullpen, yesterday was the Cubs bullpen. Guess what? Today it was the Padres bullpen. Machado homers. Dylan Cease was great. I mean, Bogarts, what a great job by Bogarts to field this. I said Cronenworth, I meant Bogarts. The job by Bogarts to field it, and then Cronenworth over to Arise to complete the 6-4-3 double play to end the game. And the Padres and Cubs will play for their seasons tomorrow afternoon. We don't know the time as of yet. It's contingent on the games that will be played tonight. Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium, but the Padres have forced a decisive game. Everything you could ask for. Padres deliver in a big way in game 2, just in a huge way. Mike Schilt pulls the right strings. Manny Machado with one of his biggest moments in a Padres uniform. Dylan Cease in the bullpen combining on a shutout of the Cubs at Wrigley. And the Padres and Cubs will meet again. And Yu Darvish, who pitched prominently in a Cubs uniform in his career, finished second in Cy Young voting, has spent a lot of time on that mound at Wrigley Field. He will get the nod for the Padres in game 3 tomorrow.
Wow.
Well said.
Wow. What a great series so far.
Great series.
Just, I mean, it's so like, there's so many moments that could swing the pendulum either way. And we saw that in game 1, and we definitely saw that in game 2. And my guess is tomorrow is going to be another low scoring, close game. I would be surprised if it's 6-1 either way, right? It's going to be a low scoring game tomorrow. And we're going to be talking about, some moves here and there that could potentially decide the fate of both of these teams. But they're both pretty evenly matched. They, have their strengths and their weaknesses, and we've seen that on display in the first 2 games. And
You could not have asked for anything more. Could not have asked for anything more. Yesterday, it felt like, pretty hopeless, right? I put out this morning the quote from Ramon Laureano, delusional hope. Like, that's kind of what you could only have right now when you're down 1-0 on the road in a best of 3. And now, tomorrow, all hands on deck, man. All hands on deck. We knew they could win a game. I wasn't sitting here being like, oh, they're easily going to get swept. A lot of doomers out there thought they were. It's still going to take a lot for them to win the series, obviously. Win or go home on the road. But, like, just winning today's game, to me, didn't feel like the tallest of tasks, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like just winning today wasn't like climbing Mount Everest. Now winning the series kind of felt a little bit like that. And it still kind of does. Like, it's still an uphill climb, but it's a 1-game win or go home situation tomorrow. We don't know the game time, but whenever it is, I'm ready, man. I want it to be tomorrow, first pitch right now.
Padres will play to extend their season. The winner of tomorrow's game goes to Milwaukee to take on the rested Brewers. So the winner of tomorrow moves on to the NLDS. The loser, of course, the season is over. A decisive third game. Keep this in mind as we sit here now. No game one loser has ever won a wild card series since they instituted this format in 2022 officially. So the Padres maybe become the first. Cleveland could become the first before them. Yeah. Cleveland, even the series today at home against the Tigers. Who knows? All 4 of these series might go 3. We don't know. Yankees trail by a game, Reds trail by a game. But all we care about right now is the Padres. There were some critical moments in this game, obviously. Dylan Cease, 3 2 third innings. They go to Adrian Morejon against the lefty. Morejon gets out of the spot. Craig Counsell's willingness to pitch to Manny Machado, trailing 1-0 with a runner on and a base open, and he made him pay. Shota Imanaga allowing that 2-run home run to Manny Machado, to me, is the game, because think about the way this played out. Suarez working with a base runner in the 8th inning. Suarez working with a base runner in the 9th inning. Yeah. Imagine if that's a 1-0 game. Tatis's play in the 8th inning, that double play ball. I mean, I just think it feels completely different, and we don't know if they actually would have won the game 1-0. In the end, the homer gave them the breathing room that I think they needed to win this game.
Yeah, it felt like that homer by Manny there allowed everybody to take a deep breath.
Yeah, including us.
Everybody. Yeah. Fans, the team, everybody. Yep. Manny, because game 1 was so tight and they couldn't come through. And then you get to the moment today in the 5th, you're up 1-0. Yeah, you're leading the game, but we know a 1-0 lead in the postseason is so difficult to hold. Now, in the end, they could have held it because the bullpen came in and pitched lights out. But just the pressure compared, a 1-0 lead compared to a 3-0 lead is so massive, because you're not every pitch. You're not trying to nibble. I mean, you're going to be attacking guys.
That's right.
Until the time run gets to the plate. But just a phenomenal game all the way around. You could not have asked for anything better. They played as close to a perfect game after a loss yesterday in a postseason game, an elimination game, that you could ask for. Right?
Completely agree.
Defense, pitching, timely hitting, the making the right moves. There is nothing to criticize about today's game. They pushed all the right buttons. They came up in the big moments. They made all the right pitches. Perfection.
Phone lines are open if you want to react to it. 877-767-4760. We will hear from Mike Schilt, who will be at the podium. We will hear from Cubs manager Craig Counsell on pitching to Manny Machado. We'll hear from players as well. And Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Padres force game 3 in Chicago with one of their best performances of the season, if not their best performance of the year on the road. A couple of just brilliant defensive plays late as well. Tatis in the 8th on a ball that was ticketed for the corner that would have scored a run and sent the tying run to the plate. He made a leaping play into the corner and right in Wrigley. And then I thought the double play ball started by Xander Bogaerts was a great job by Bogaerts to field. This was a tough play for Bogaerts. He smothered it and was able to get 2 outs on that play. I mean, any mishandle there, the whole thing is hinging on that. So just a great baseball game all around. It started with Dylan Cease, who's being interviewed right now on TV by Jesse Rogers, who was with us last week on John and Jim. Again, you're not winning this game without Dylan Cease, just like you're not winning this game without Manny Machado or your bullpen today.
No, you're not. For everything that Dylan Cease has done this year, especially on the road,
this was, I mean, for just Dylan Cease personally, he made himself a lot of money after today. I feel like I know that the regular season wasn't well, but postseason performances could affect off-season contracts. And I'm not saying that, if Dylan Cease didn't go 7 shutout today, he only went 3 2/3.
Right.
But those 3 2/3 were, other than the Seiya Suzuki double down the left field line, flawless.
Mm-hmm.
It was flawless. And you couldn't have asked for anything more, especially because, you had the bullpen behind you. And what I'm guessing here is that last night, however Mike Schilt and his staff and AJ Preller mapped out the game, if I were to ask them to show me that, the sheet of them mapping out today's game from last night, my guess is it would look pretty similar to what happened actually today, and maybe even to a T.
Yeah, I mean, it really was brilliant that you could go, think about this. You went to your bullpen in the 4th and used 3 relievers. Whoa.
What?
You went to your bullpen in the 4th and used 3 relievers. Adrian Morejon got 7 outs, and he did it with relative ease. Mason Miller got 5 outs, 5 strikeouts before he hit a batter. And then Robert Suarez, it was not the easiest thing in the world, but he did get the 4 outs without allowing a run. So 3 relievers combining for how many outs is that? 16 outs. You got an average of over 5 outs per reliever here today. That's not easy to accomplish. And you think about it, they haven't used a lot of players in general in this series. I mean, you have the full complement of your bullpen still available. You've got the Michael Kings, you got the Randy Vasquez. You have everything you need. You got Darvish. These guys are going to bounce back. Mason Miller can pitch for a 3rd consecutive day, I'm assuming.
He has to,
Yeah,
if it's a close game.
You have the full complement of what you need tomorrow. I don't know who has the true advantage. I don't even know who's starting tomorrow for the Chicago Cubs. We'll see the betting line when it comes out. To me, it's a coin flip, but I'm taking my chances. I think the Cubs at home, are you playing tight? The Padres have taken the momentum. After you go down 1, you can't ask for more than this. And this is what the Padres have now.
I mean, credit where credit's due. And they came out today. First inning, by the way.
Scored in the first.
Toddy, he had a bad game yesterday. Came out today, gets on with a hard hit single up the middle. Luis Ariz, he did show bunt there, and I was like, oh no, here we go. But got on with a hard hit single to the right side. And then, Manny had the strike out there, but you get a run across.
Double steal.
The double steal was big. I was kind of looking at that moment as if they were to lose the game, and there were other moments too, but that in particular, only getting 1 there kind of felt like a loss.
That's right.
And if you're the Cubs, kind of felt like a win, right? But still, getting a run across early was important for this team. You could not have gone down in this game early, because then the wave of emotions I felt like would have just overcome them. And who knows how Dylan pitches if they go down and 1-0 or 2-0 in the first. And probably they don't even let Dylan finish the first if he gives up multiple runs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they had Morejon up in the 3rd in this game, and he was working on a shutout. So they treated it like they had to have it, and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
They'll treat it again tomorrow like that. This isn't about hurt feelings. This is, you only went 3 2/3 innings. Who cares? You live to see another day. Like, if Michael King appears in the series or he doesn't, whatever. All you worry about right now is moving on. And maybe tomorrow for you, Darvish, is a little bit like today for Dylan Cease, where sure, the leash is shorter. You have to win the game, but maybe he gives you some of his best performance of the year in that critical spot. And you, Darvish, gives you the 3 or 4 innings. That's all you need with this bullpen. You get those, 3 shutdown innings, and now you can start to piecemeal the thing together.
By the way, what a storyline tomorrow. Just you, Darvish.
Yeah, against his team.
Against his former team.
Yep.
On the road at Wrigley Field.
Finished 2nd in Cy Young voting, in 2020?
Yeah. Now, again, 2020 is 2020.
But still, he finished 2nd in Cy Young voting in 2020.
Now, the thing with Darvish that does concern me here is his numbers aren't great.
No, they're not.
Leading up to game 3 tomorrow. Dylan Cease had been pitching better. And over his career, he was phenomenal against the Cubs, especially at Wrigley. His numbers against the Cubs at Wrigley were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go back and look at Darvish's career numbers.
At Wrigley?
Well,
because he's probably had some good career.
What about against the Cubs? How many times has he pitched against the Cubs at Wrigley?
A lot in his career, a ton, I'm sure. We'll take a look at that.
Didn't he? I want to say he had a great game there in maybe 2022. Was it?
Well, that's been a while. Here's my concern: the long ball.
That's
my concern. And how long's the leash? Because you have enough that you don't even truly need them to give you much. With the Kings and the Vasquezes and your bullpen, we're going to hear from Craig Counsell, by the way. He's meeting with the media right now. And then we'll hear from Mike Schill. But you don't need everything from you, Darvish, just like you didn't need everything from Dylan Cease. You just need him to give you a chance. But you got to avoid that long ball. He's got 5.38 ERA this year, Darvish. So you got to be very cautious, but you're hoping for the best from you, Darvish, against his former team tomorrow. So, we don't know the start time.
Don't know the start time. This is the game I'm referring to.
Okay.
2022 in June.
Okay.
At Wrigley Field. Padres won that game. He went 8 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, no walks.
We'll take that.
Yep.
I don't know if we're going to see that, though. All right. On the other side, we're going to hear from Craig Counsell and Mike Schill. Padres have forced a decisive third game of the wild card series at Wrigley against the Chicago Cubs tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Kevin Acey's on the show. Our full reaction, plus we're going to hear from players and managers, plus we want to hear from you. 877-767-4760 if you want to weigh in. It's 877-767-4760. It's John and Jim. All right, John and Jim. Padres win game 2, game 3 tomorrow. Time to be determined. Craig Counsell has spoken with the media and explained his decision to stick with Shota Imanaga to face Manny Machado. It sounds like a lot of analytics went into it. They really crunched the numbers. We'll hear from
good thing for the Padres that Craig Counsell is a moron in that situation.
Worked out well for the Padres. We're going to hear from Counsell, right? And we're going to hear maybe from Fernando Tatis Jr. as well. All right, we're for Toddy. All right, so we'll hear from Counsell coming up. We're going to hear from Toddy coming up as well. Of course, we're going to hear from Mike Schilt. Kevin AC will join us at 5:30. We just continue to react to just this massive afternoon for the Padres where everything went their way. The pitching and the defense and the timely hitting. And they did enough, right? They didn't do anything they didn't have to do. They didn't score 10 runs. Like they didn't need to do that. They did enough to win the game. They should have the confidence that's necessary to believe that they can win tomorrow. And we'll see if they can do it or not.
Yeah, this is a type of win that Schilt dreams of.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's not dreaming of the 8-1 victories. He's not dreaming of the like how the Dodgers won last night, 10-5, mashing 5 home runs. He's dreaming of a 3-0 victory, really good pitching, great defense, situational hitting, timely hitting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game that Mike Schilt dreamed of last night to have. And this is exactly what happened. Is they pitched great. You had the big time hit from your star player. You had the great defense, and you force a game 3 tomorrow. It was as perfect a game as you could ever watch if you're a Padres fan. Just beautifully played from the Padres perspective. I can't tell you enough how great Dylan Cease was, followed by how great Adrian Morejon was, followed by how just absolutely dominant Mason Miller was, followed by Robert Suarez, who could look shaky at times, closing it out there in the 9th. Just a perfect win today.
Yeah, it really was. And here's the deal. We'll remember Manny's moment and today if they win tomorrow. And if they don't, we won't. That's how sports work. So it's as simple as that. Like this is as good as tomorrow. So you had to do it to get to tomorrow. So they took care of, the first box that you needed to check off. Like I've said, how many times have I said it, Jim, over the last 12 hours? Overcoming a 1-0 series deficit is not insurmountable, even though it had never happened since 2022. Still no team has done it. See if the Padres can be the first or someone else does it this year. But like, we're not trying to move heaven and earth. This isn't the Red Sox trailing the Yankees 3-0, which, by the way, they overcame that deficit, right? On their way to their first World Series in forever. So you have to overcome a game, right? You can't make it more than it is. So they overcame the game. They're now even. And now we'll see what they do tomorrow. I'm treating tomorrow like today in terms of Darvish was up and down like Cease was up and down. Season is on the line like it was today. Same mentality, same thought process, same managing. That's what I want to see from the Padres tomorrow. Now scratch across a run or two, put yourself out in front, and see if it holds with your bullpen. But same mentality, same everything. From Mike Schilt, from the pitching staff, from the team. More of this tomorrow. And we can celebrate with champagne, Jim.
Yeah, more of it tomorrow. It's much harder to win back-to-back games on the road in the postseason, especially when both of them are elimination games.
But not when you've won one of them.
But when you won one of them, you wipe the slate clean, and it's all about one game tomorrow. That's it. All you got, one game tomorrow. Just like how it was, but for today, one game today. And then you worry about tomorrow. Like that's how I view the postseason in baseball. Is yes, if you're in a 5 or 7 game series, obviously games 1, 2, 3, those games you can worry a little bit about the next day. But I always remember Bruce Bochy and the way that he managed games in the postseason through his time with San Francisco and with the Rangers. How he always managed for that day, and rarely did he manage for the next game. Because we see that a lot with managers. They won't make moves because they're like, I don't want to risk the possibility of this guy not being available tomorrow. Like, bro, if you don't win right now, there won't be a tomorrow. And we see that a lot from managers in the sport. And I just always remember Bochy, the way that he managed in the postseason was always about winning that day. We worry about tomorrow. And, that's what happened today in today's game with the Padres, leaving Mason Miller out there for as long as they did. I mean, who cares about what happens tomorrow? We know he's going to be available. Worry about today. And they got it done.
And by the way, all the criticism yesterday of the lineup that the Padres put out there, same lineup today. And no discussion because they end up winning the game 3-0. Mike Schild is speaking with the media. We'll hear from Craig Counsell next. We still will hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. and then Mike Schild as well. And Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. Tons of reaction here until 6 p.m. If you want to weigh in, 877-767-4760. It's John and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by eBay. Padres winning game 2 today against the Cubs, 3-0 behind great pitching performances from Dylan Cease, Adrian Morejon, Mason Miller, and Robert Suarez, and a crucial 2-run homer from Manny Machado. They force a game 3 tomorrow afternoon. Jameson Taillon has been announced as the game 3 starter for the Cubs. Yu Darvish will start for the Padres. Earlier this morning, Tigers and Guardians. They have forced a game 3, beating the Tigers 6-1. Yankees, Red Sox. Are they underway in New York? They're underway in New York. I think they are underway in New York. It's 2-0 Yankees, bottom of the second inning there. And then Dodgers, Reds, game 2 of that series tonight, 6:08 First pitch at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers lead that series 1-0. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need to prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
All right, we'll hear Craig Counsell coming up in a moment, then Mike Schild. I do want to read this through a translator from Shota Imanaga, talking about the home run to Manny Machado and facing him. This is the translation from his translator. In that situation, walking him, it wasn't really too much in my head. It was maybe like a 50-50. All right, so Shota Imanaga saying it was 50-50. What did Craig Counsell have to say? Let's hear from Counsell. Where's the star, Brent? Is it with a question and an answer? It is with a question. This was Craig Counsell, Cubs manager, postgame.
Craig, just what went into the decision to stick with Shota there in the 5th versus Soroka or walking Machado?
Yeah, I mean, look, the result suggested we should have done something different. Really, just confidence in Shota. It was plain and simple there. I thought he was pitching well. I thought he was throwing the ball really well. And unfortunately, he made a mistake.
Did you consider going to Soroka?
Yeah. No, we considered walking Machado. Wasn't going to put Soroka in. Considered walking Machado.
Megan?
Just overall, you kind of touched on it briefly there, but just what did you think of Shota's stuff and his overall command?
No, I thought he pitched very well. I thought the stuff was crisp. I mean, he was. There was a couple walks, but I thought that was just like giving him his best stuff. And I thought he threw the ball well.
Andy?
Just for clarity, was Soroka ready if you had gone to him from Machado like he was born?
He was. There was a couple spots we were thinking about him. Yeah.
Megan?
Obviously, with an opener, when a run scores, it'll come under more scrutiny. Just what did you think of Kittredge's?
I thought he threw the ball well. I thought they did a really good job in the first inning. I mean, he got, the Tatis hit is a really good pitch. The Arias hit's a really good pitch. He gets Machado out. He made good pitches. So like sometimes you get really good hitters and they get a hit. What are you going to do? Right? He made the pitches that you'd want him to make in that inning. And so I'd give them credit for putting together a good inning and having good at-bats.
Far left.
Craig, I think it's up to 24 strikeouts through 2 games for you guys. Obviously, a lot of good arms on the other side, but lineup construction, tweaking anything for game 3, what will you consider there?
Well, I mean, the consolation today was we pitched really well in the back half of the game. They obviously had they used their Morahone and Miller multiple innings, and even Suarez multiple innings. So, look, those are good arms. That's what they've done to the league all year. Those are tough at bats, plain and simple.
Just one more on sticking with Shota against Machado. Was the decision based on what you saw during the start? That's why you stuck with him?
Yeah.
You felt like, okay, just wanted to clarify that. And then with Pete struggled, does it kind of look like he's trying to make something happen rather than the game come to him? Or is he trying? It almost seems like he's trying to do too much. Maybe I'm just basing that off results.
Well, I think, look, these are, the first 2 matchups in this series have been pitchers that have done a good job exploiting Pete's holes, which is what pitchers, that's their job, right? And they've executed pitches really well to do that. So I think they've made a lot of good pitches on Pete. I think they're clearly today they made a lot of good pitches on everybody. So it's just you got to get pitches to hit. If players of this talent don't give you pitches to hit, it's tough to get hits. And they did a pretty darn good job of that today.
Vinny, second row on the left.
What
about what you've seen from this team all year long, from your team all year long, gives you confidence that you guys are going to be in the right spot going into winner take all tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first 2 games is, really what you expected in this series. And I think tomorrow will be, a lot of the same. And so I think we're made for that. We're going to have to produce more offense tomorrow. There's no question. We didn't do enough offensively today to really, 3 at bats in a game with runners in scoring position. That's going to be tough to put up more than a single run, really. So, that's going to be the challenge tomorrow.
So Craig Counsell saying that he went with gut, hunch over analytics to allow Shota Imanaga, the left-handed reliever today, to face Manny Machado with a base open in a 1-0 game, and Machado made him pay.
But John, there's no analytics needed there. Like you have 2 eyes. I know Manny struggled, and he has been struggling.
Yep.
But we talked about yesterday the thought process of the Padres bunting there in the 4th inning, and I know that there's hindsight there, and it didn't work out. But it's just the thought process that was so infuriating to talk about and to watch. It's the thought process from Craig Counsell, if you're a Cubs fan there, that the entire reason why you went opener is to avoid the Imanaga, Manny, and Tatis matchup for potentially multiple times. One time,
okay, but not to face them twice.
Not to face them twice. So that's why you go opener in Kittredge. And Kittredge gave up a run there. It didn't go perfect for them, but also, the Padres didn't make it hurt as bad as they could have in the first. And then you get through one time of the order through the lefty lane that, Schilt has been handing to Craig Counsell there. You get through the lefty lane with Imanaga, and then you get through the one time of Manny and Toddy at the top of the order. And at that moment in time, the next time that you were facing Manny Machado, it was with a runner on second base and first base open, and you decide to pitch to him there.
I didn't even consider it as a possibility.
I was like, what are they doing?
There were 2 real options. They had Michael Soroka up. They could have gone to their bullpen, or they just could have walked him
and pitched to Merrill, who grounded out in his next at bat.
Exactly. So this really wasn't, to me, this wasn't big decision time.
No,
this wasn't like 51% of the math says one thing and 49% of the math says no. This was clear as day. He went with gut, even though the organization made a decision not to start the game with Imanaga, because analytically it didn't make sense for him to face Tatis and Machado more as opposed to less.
Right.
So it was just boneheaded. What do you got, Brian?
For me, the most frustrating thing about that was it was 1 inning earlier when Schilt did the exact same thing. So it's not like he had no reference point to, just walking a guy and then going lefty, who's been struggling.
I will say, though, that when Schilt did that, to walk a guy to put the go-ahead run on first, right? To who was he facing in that moment?
PCA.
And then he went to Morejon to face PCA there. I even said, I'm like, this move better work.
Well, yeah, but that's every move.
I know.
That's every move. But it made sense to me. PCA cannot hit left-handed hitting and cannot hit.
True. He's been awful
against your toughest lefty reliever. So it's hard to second guess. It's easy to second guess Imanaga.
Very easy if you're the Cubs.
I always like that. You want to have a bulletproof reason.
Yeah. And from the Padres' perspective, I mean, you almost give the game ball to Craig Counsell there.
Thanks, man.
Here you go. Thanks for that. Appreciate you leaving Imanaga in to face Manny Machado there. I get it. Manny's been struggling. And
it doesn't Machado is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It doesn't matter.
You're tempting fate.
It does not matter at all, right? It's the thought process there from the Cubs' perspective that was so idiotic that it could have potentially cost them the season, depending on what happens tomorrow.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. Brent, how much Tatis do we have? Can Brent do the show? Brent, how much Tatis do we have? All right, we have 2. Where's this start? All right, where's this start? With a question or no question? What's he answering? We don't know. Okay, can you play it in queue? Play it in queue and let us know, because I want to. We'll play Tatis. We'll play Mike Schill. We're going to hear from Kevin Acee coming up at 5:30 as well. But Fernando Tatis Jr. had a big moment in this game. All right, this was Fernando Tatis Jr. Starts with today's game.
Yeah, all the way since the beginning. Like I mentioned, we're going out there with a mission, and we're just going out there to complete it.
You had a hell of a view of Manny Machado's home run, threw your arms up. What did that moment mean?
Breather, one-run ball game over there coming in clutch, and definitely in a playoff 3-run lead is like an 8-run lead in the regular season. So it was enough for us and for our pitching staff, and just happy for him.
Speaking of that pitching staff, what Dylan did, what the bullpen did, how much did it mean to you guys to see that?
That's outstanding. I mean, that's what they're capable of doing, and they have carried us all year, and we expect them to keep going that way.
What's a 3-run lead like? You have Mason Miller blazing 104 miles an hour.
You have all the confidence in the world when you see that from the side. So happy he's really on our team.
Were you surprised they pitched to Manny in that spot? First base open.
I don't think so. I mean, they've been aggressive. They've been pounding the zone, and then that's how they got game one. And that game plan worked. I guess they were going at it again.
With Manny up there, how much confidence do you have knowing what's going to pass in those moments?
All the confidence in the world. He's our guy, and he's the one that's going to take it out there.
Catching the 8th inning, the Stars need to make plays when they, games are on the line like that. When you're able to reach up and make that kind of a grab, and first of all, what kind of a read did you have on it? And secondly, just the emotion that came out after you secured it.
It's been aggressive, the way I play, and a little bit tough at the beginning because the route was almost all the way in the sun. It came out last second, but just following that ball, hunting, and just putting out there what I'm capable of doing.
You guys all talked about playing your kind of baseball to get back into it. Was this what you envisioned? Just great pitching, clutch hit, just basically defense.
Yeah, that's what we're capable of doing. That's what brought us here to the playoff, and we repeat that. It's going to take it to really good places.
You really taxed their pitching staff. Gray was probably going to be starting game 3. He went in today, knowing that they probably have not as many reinforcements. How much does that make you think that tomorrow might be yours?
I'm thinking nothing of that. We're going to go out there and do what we're capable of doing. Doesn't matter who's in the mound, and you can never trust yourself in a playoff spot. You need to go out there and make it happen.
All right, Fernando Tatis Jr. post game. Let's hear from Mike Shildt on the other side. Mike Shildt with the media. Kevin Acee joins us live at 5:30. The Padres have forced a decisive third game of the wild card round against the Cubs. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. We're going to hear from Mike Schild. Game time to be determined. We'll get into that in the 4 o'clock hour. We have Aztec tickets to give away. There are 4 possible start times for the Padres still tomorrow. 4.
Yeah. And it all depends on what happens in the next 2 games. Yankees right now. Let me look at the score. Oh, we are tied at 2, John.
Okay.
In the bottom of the 3rd inning in New York. Boston leads that series 1-0. Dodgers, it's hard to envision the Dodgers losing tonight to the Reds. They're up 1-0 in that series. But we are tied at 2 in the Bronx, bottom of the 3rd inning.
We'll lay out the scenarios for start times when we come back at the 4 o'clock hour. But we do want to hear from Mike Schild here. We're going to hear from Xander Bogaerts as well. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5:30. We have Aztec tickets for Friday night to give away. Let's hear from Mike Schild. We believe this starts with Schild talking about the quality of the at-bats from the Padres today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought the at-bat quality yesterday was really high as well. Not as much to show for it. Again, at-bat quality, fantastic. You hit the nail on the head, Ace, with Toddy getting us started even in the first inning, and then later, a tremendous at-bat, and then Mandy does his thing, puts a beautiful swing on it to give us, a little bit of cushion there for sure.
You obviously. It's the postseason. You rode your relievers today. What'd you think about the way that Morihone doing more than he'd done, Miller, Suarez?
Yeah, I mean, clearly they were tremendous. Back against the wall scenario. I'm sure we'll get to Dylan, but Dylan deserved a lot of credit to get us where he got to. And then Adrian came in and was outstanding. I mean, really just fantastic. And really had a good idea. We wanted to take him through from Armstrong through Tucker. The key to that was the efficiency of it. Adrian's been able to be very efficient this year. Clearly the outs help. And then Miller picked up right at Suzuki, and he was fantastic to grab that 7th clean inning. And then we were figuring out, and it's probably starting to get a little bit of a push, but gave him the benefit of the doubt with Bush. But he did a tremendous job. I understand from Darren, I think 8 consecutive strikeouts in postseason from yesterday as well. So that speaks for itself. Pretty impressive. 104. We like that. And Suarez was tremendous to bring it home. So it was a really nice baseball game on the Padres side. And both sides really was a good baseball game.
Megan.
Were you surprised that with a base open in that situation, they pitched to Manny?
Listen, I got my hands full with my own club. I can't be thinking about anybody else's strategy or not. So, we just think about managing our own club.
And then just a follow-up to your bullpen. Just what do you feel like collectively has been behind their ability to really shut down the Cubs lineup from top to bottom?
Well, I think it starts with ability. I mean, we got really, really, plus arms back there. And listen, I'm going to be able to elaborate on that because, if you're going to pitch in the big league, especially now, you're going to have a plus arm. We have fire coming out everywhere around this league. One of the separators for our group, the guys are in display today, Morihone, Miller, Suarez, but also Estrada, Peralta, Morgan, Bradley showing that, is the ability to trust their stuff and be aggressive. So, all these guys are really special with their arm talent, Morihone, etc., Miller, Suarez, but the impressive thing about it is they have pitches, they're pitching, and they're not going to make a situation bigger than it is. And, that says a lot for them. It's a separator.
Go to the far left.
On those back end arms, there are a lot of pitches today. Any limitations at all tomorrow, or all hands on deck?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Morihone and Miller have gone back-to-back days. Both got extended today. Morihone's still efficient, but 33 pitches. Miller in the 30s for 2 games combined. I would have an expectation that all hands are on deck tomorrow. But we also are going to take their temperature and be smart. We got to value their careers as well. But we've only had 2 guys go 3 days in a row all year, and we've done it and saved it for these circumstances. So obviously in an elimination game, there's special circumstances.
Kevin. Mike, I mean, it's kind of a cliche, a player like Manny in a big moment. That's what he's supposed to do. It's been kind of a grind for Manny for a couple months, but if you could just speak to him coming through in that moment, because you guys really needed it.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, he's Manny Machado. You know, he's heading in a great direction. You know, historic direction in his career. I like his swings all the way towards the end of the season. You know, he was starting to get his groove. I just like the way, including yesterday, including today, you just see him just be that nice and ease and just trying to put a good swing, not trying to do too much. And when Manny's in that spot, it's a lethal spot.
Vinny or Kevin, go ahead.
Besides your overall confidence, and you talked about giving the benefit of the doubt to Miller against Bush based on what he did today, based on how he was going in that moment.
Yeah, he was going. He was around 25 pitches. Let him finish it. Maybe Suarez just have a clean inning. The next inning. You knew he's towards the end. Stuff was still crisp, and just a balancing act.
Vinny.
You mentioned Dylan. What did you see from him, and how valuable was he for you guys today?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought Dylan was tremendous. Big stuff, crisp, going where he wanted to. Slider was where he wanted to go. Knuckle curve, curveball was really, created some doubt too, and threw it all three for strikes. We knew in a 1-0 game that we were going to, look to go the bullpen. The key for me, there was a couple keys, but the primary one was to start the fourth. Once he got, Happ and Tucker, it's like, all right, now we have a plan to be able to, he can take, Suzuki, of course it's a double, and we did what we did with Carson, but to get to Morihone in the lane that we liked him in, but he got us to that point, and he did a fantastic job. He had electric stuff.
And last one's for Mike. Kevin.
Not to say that your job is easy. I know it's tough to do, but what Morihone has done all year, including today, the efficiency, how much easier does that make it, where he tends to kind of allow you to decide when he's going to come out?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the, listen, when guys are efficient and do the job, it makes everybody look good, right? And let's don't kid ourselves. But no, I mean, he's been fantastic all year, and, we put him into, lanes, but he's, it's not like he fits in more of the lefty lane, but today it was like, all right, we knew he's going to grab Armstrong and then grab, Swanson and Shaw, and deal with Horner and the right-handed Happ. So we trust him with anybody, but his efficiency is really, it's what you put him out there for, but he rewards it.
Mike Schild.
There was a funny line in there when asked about the decision for Counsell to pitch to Manny. Do you have that, Brent? Because I know you may have marked it. To me, it was translation. Thank God, because walking Manny there was the right move, and they didn't do it. And so here was what Mike Schild had to say about that move that Counsell made.
Hey, listen, I got my hands full with my own club. I can't be thinking about anybody else's strategy or not. So, we just think about managing our own club.
Schildt's a pretty analytical manager, and he would not have faced Manny in that spot. By the way.
Shot.
If Mike Schild was managing the Cubs, he would not have pitched to Manny Machado, or he would have gone to his bullpen and faced Manny Machado. But he would not have had Shota Imanaga face Manny Machado.
Yeah, and you know how you know that is because the previous inning he did that.
He did that exact same thing to get to exactly. Brought a lefty on with Adrian Morihone. Yeah. All right, we're going to hear from Xander Bogaerts. We have full reaction. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. The Padres have evened up this best-of-3 series. We have Aztec football tickets to give away as well in the 4 o'clock hour. We are here until 6 p.m. A Game 3 is tomorrow in Chicago. This is John and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again, and there is no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer. New vehicles arriving daily, including the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today, or make sure to head to Toyota.com if you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota. There you can check out all the latest offers and search inventory. Finding the Toyota that's just right for you starts at Toyota.com. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup of electrified vehicles helps to create a greener planet. Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup supports a greener planet with a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and fully electric vehicles, or take each day further than you thought possible. In a new Camry with its stylish looks that'll make an impression wherever you go. See your Toyota dealer today and discover what makes Camry legendary. There's no better time than now to get your local Toyota dealer. Get your local Toyota dealer today or Toyota.com. That's Toyota.com, your Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
All right, this update is brought to you by eBay. Padres beat the Cubs today 3-0 to force a game 3 tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field. Time to be determined on that one. We'll give you all the options coming up here in a bit. Earlier this morning, Guardians, they beat the Tigers 6-1 to force a game 3 tomorrow in Cleveland. Right now, Yankees and Red Sox, game 2 of that series, tied at 2 apiece. In the top of the 4th inning, Red Sox lead that series 1-0. And then later tonight, 6:08 first pitch at Dodger Stadium, Dodgers and Reds. Dodgers lead that series 1-0. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the 3rd hour of John and Jim here until 6. Good couple hours lined up as the Padres have evened this series. Kevin Acee from Chicago will join us at 5:30. We'll give away Aztec football tickets this hour. We'll hear from Xander Bogaerts coming up. All right, so lay it out for us, Jim, because believe it or not, with a decisive game tomorrow, there could be as many as 4 different start times as we sit here right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, we won't know until we won't know until tonight after the completion of the Dodgers-Reds game around maybe 9:30.
Unless it's lopsided, if
then we'll
it's
know.
8-0 in the 2nd inning, maybe you'll have a good feel.
Right. But here's the scenario. So if the Yankees and the Reds win, so if the Yankees win today against the Red Sox, tied 2-2 in the fourth, if the Reds win tonight, Padres Cubs will be tomorrow afternoon at 12:08 p.m. Pacific time.
So just like games 1 and 2, same time.
Same times. If the Yankees and the Dodgers win, tomorrow's game's at 2:08 p.m. Pacific time. Great for the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But we might be changing things up. If the Red Sox and Reds win, Padres and Cubs at 3:08.
Red Sox and Reds, 3:08. Okay.
And if the Red Sox and Dodgers win, Padres Cubs 4:38. So it would be a night game at Wrigley.
That would require the Red Sox and the Dodgers winning?
Yes.
Yeah, so those series ending.
Yes.
If those series end, Padres get pushed back to 4:38 p.m. Pacific.
Right.
Okay. So there's still 4 possible start times. It's kind of weird. Like if you're from planning purposes, if you're Mike Shilton at front office, it's 6:00 Central. You're like, hey guys, read your text later.
Yeah.
Like that, like the game time will be determined later.
We're either at the ballpark or at this time, this time, this time, or this time.
We're either 8, 10, 11, or 2. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So me personally, I'm rooting for the 4:38 start time tomorrow.
I think most people are because all these day games, like not everyone's been able to watch.
Yeah. How many people have been at work during these first 2 games and haven't been able to watch a single pitch?
A lot of people.
So I personally am rooting for a Red Sox and Dodgers win tonight. Just for the Padres perspective, like, do I want to see the Dodgers obviously lose in the postseason? Yeah, duh. But let's be real here. The Reds aren't winning that series.
Right.
So that's what I'm rooting for. So Padres Cubs gets closer to a primetime game on the West Coast. It's not like a true primetime game, but 4:38 start.
Kind of like Sunday Night Baseball. Isn't Sunday Night Baseball been starting at 7:30 Eastern?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. And by the way, it feels kind of bigger. The stage under the lights, like Wrigley Field, that's 6:38 local. That would be a night game tomorrow at Wrigley Field. All right. Xander Bogaerts spoke with the media. Bogaerts made a big pick there to end it and start a 6-4-3 double play.
I didn't know if he was going to turn it because he stumbled there.
I mean, I didn't know if he was going to get any outs, but he was able to get 2. And this is Xander Bogaerts' post game on picking up the win and doing it on his 33rd birthday.
Oh.
It's better to win on my birthday. I'll tell you that. Playoff win. It's awesome.
What did you see from Dylan today?
I mean, he was spotting his pitches pretty well. I mean, his fielder was good. His off-speed pitches were good. Kept them off balance. Bullpen came in, did a good job. I mean, the whole year these guys have been, pretty much the heart and soul of, everything we got going on. And they showed up big time today.
You guys talked yesterday about playing your style of baseball. Is that pretty much what you guys showed today with clean defense, pitching?
Yeah, playoff is tough. Any little mistake can be huge. And any good play also can be huge. Credit to all of us today. We all did a good job. We came in prepared. We came in focused again. We lost the first game. We could have easily just fuck it, good. We bounced back nice, and it was nice.
How big was that swing by Manny for the split?
Man. To make it 3-0, from 1-0 to 3-0. I mean, that's a big jump. When you play this game for a long time, you know how big that is, especially in the playoffs. 1-run leads are never safe. No leads is safe actually, but having a little room for error, I mean that's huge, especially with managing the bullpen and I mean everything. It just changes the game.
Can I make a point on Xander Bogaerts?
I know what you're going to say.
He's been really valuable in these 2 games.
Yep.
Missed September by and large, and he's been very valuable. And don't discount this. He's been through this. He's won at a high level, and he has rings to show for it. So I'm pleased with what we've seen so far. I hope he contributes tomorrow. I think he's had 3 hits in these 2 games. He made that very good defensive play. I'll just put it at that. I've been very pleased with what we've seen from Xander to start this series.
I mean, I could argue that he's put together some of the best at-bats in the series for the Padres, right? I think the best at-bats, the Manny one.
Yeah, definitely.
But he's putting together some pretty good at-bats, 1 for 4 today. He's been solid for this team. He's been very solid defensively at the plate. He's just been a solid player for them in games 1 and game 2. Yesterday, John.
I know where you're going. I was going to go exactly there.
Yesterday, Manny, Arise,
We're both looking at
Tatis
the box score.
go 0 for 11. Today, what do? Toddy gets a single. Arise has 2 hits. Manny has the 2-run homer. 3 runs scored.
Yep, there's a walk in there.
The top of their lineup today was what carried the day. Yesterday, 0 for 11. Today, 4 for 11. It's as simple as that. And sometimes the top of your lineup, your big bats, they need to produce. And today, Toddy, Arise, especially Manny, they all came through big.
Oh, by the way, let me mention this as well. Merrill does this a lot with 2 strikes. He drove the sac fly in the first to give him a lead on a pitch that was tough to do what he was able to do with a 2-2 pitch that if he swings through, they're not scoring in the inning. At least they got one. They could have gotten more. They got one thanks to Jackson Merrill. But you're right. Tatis, Arise, Machado, the Merrill sac fly. You know it's Mike Schilt. It's more of the same tomorrow from a lineup perspective. He was asked about it this morning. Did you think about breaking up the lefties? He said, I want a what did he say today? He said, I want a minor league title in Johnson City with 6 lefties in my lineup. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Well, what does that have to do with it? But anyway, he's got conviction is my point. And Mike Schilt is such a player's manager. He's not going to go to Jake Cronenworth and be like, hey, bud, like this is the lineup.
Yep.
Move it like heading into game 3 would be my guess.
Now, not great that they were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, but
that wasn't ideal.
But that one hit was the 2-run homer by Manny. So,
yep.
In the postseason, you kind of throw all those stats aside. The only thing that matters is picking up the win.
Mm-hmm.
And if that one hit was the hit that helped you win the game, they could be 1 for 20 as long as they won. And that's exactly what happened today.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. I mean, this time of year, it's like in the regular season, we're always like, we're kind of sometimes looking for style points too. We'll watch a game against like the Pirates, like, oh, they kind of like eked out a 2-1 win. And once again, they're 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Yeah, they won, but what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's the same stuff.
They can't hit with runners. Exactly.
But now it's like, no one cares.
Nobody cares.
Nothing matters. If they win tomorrow 1-0 on a pass ball,
nobody will care.
Awesome.
It's
Like
great.
amazing. Or if they win 11-10 because they score 4 in the 8th, amazing.
Right.
Greatest comeback in Padres postseason history. You get, like none of it matters other than result. None of it.
If they win tomorrow 1-0 and they go hitless, nobody will care.
It would be amazing.
It would be incredible to win a game 1-0 and get no hit.
Right.
But that's the point is in the postseason, nobody cares about who gets the win. Nobody cares about how you get a run across the board. The only thing at the end of the day that matters is you score more runs than the other team. I don't care how you do it, but as long as you do it and picking up the win the way they did today, I mean, it was just a fantastic win all the way around.
By the way, credit to Manny, who yesterday postgame was like, just flush it. Live to see another day. We're fine. We're confident. We're still the same good team that we were a day earlier. You know, and it's so easy. We were there. It's so easy to criticize. Like, Manny, like, you need to come through for this team. And guess what? He did. On this day, he did. Now, it's only as good as tomorrow.
Right.
Manny's today is only as good as tomorrow. And today is not remembered in any capacity if they lose tomorrow 5-1.
Yeah, because Manny could go 0 for 4 tomorrow with 3 strikeouts and they lose 3-0.
Even tomorrow, and I'll never put on, if Manny tomorrow goes out and goes 3 for 4, but they lose 8-4, I'm just making it up. Who even cares? Again, we're not gonna start with Manny.
We'd be upset. We would care, but I get it.
Who even cares about Manny's legacy moment?
We're not going at Manny tomorrow if he were to have that game and they lose.
Yeah, like what I mean is this is only as good as tomorrow will take you. And if they win tomorrow, we're going to remember today a long, long time, potentially.
But you don't get to tomorrow without today.
Well said.
You don't get to a potential game 3 without Manny's home run. Now, to make it really impactful and really stick, you know, like Manny's home run at Dodger Stadium in game 2 in the 2022 NLDS, you have to win the series, right?
Have to.
Now, you asked the question. I mean, it is recency bias probably, but is this the biggest moment of Manny's career in a Padres uniform?
You mentioned a game 2 homer in 2022 at Dodger Stadium, game 2 on their way to a 3-1 series win over the Dodgers.
Correct. That was not an
Cronenworth
elimination game.
series. Yeah, but it kind of was because if you go down 2-0,
Kind of, yeah,
you're in
exactly.
trouble.
But it wasn't technically an elimination game. I understand they
Was
lose
it a
that.
first inning home run?
It was off Kershaw. Yeah, I want to say it was.
I think it was a
pretty
first inning home
early.
run.
Yeah,
That was a big moment. I think this is bigger
I do too.
because it is an elimination game.
I do too. I think it is bigger. And when it happened in the game, it didn't happen
Yeah, it wasn't
like
the first
in the
inning.
first inning. It happened in a pretty crucial moment of the game here where you're already in your bullpen.
Yep.
Now they had a 1-0 lead, but that 3-run homer that he hit today kind of just had every Padres fan, every Padres player have a huge sigh of relief because it felt like he kind of broke through there.
Mm-hmm.
And for Manny to have that moment, I mean, you saw the emotion. It was an incredible moment, and we'll see how the series plays out. But man, if they win this series and they win tomorrow and they advance, that moment for me has got to go up there.
I think it's right at the top of the list. If you have a better one, 877-767-4760. We'll get your calls on the other side. People want to weigh in, and we've been talking about this for forever and hearing from Mike Schilt and Craig Counsell. If you want to weigh in, now is the time. 877-767-4760. We'll get your calls on the other side. So call right now if you want to weigh in. We're heading to a game 3 in Chicago. 877-767-4760. Kevin AC at 5:30. Aztec ticket giveaway this hour for Friday night. This is John and Jim.
Takes the first pitch to deep left field. Ian Happ will watch it go. Manny Machado destroys the first pitch splitter. The Cubs do not turn to the bullpen, and Machado hits it over the bullpen. 3-0 San Diego.
Kevin Brown, man. Big game caller Kevin Brown, who we had on 2 days ago?
Yep, Monday.
On Monday.
Taught him everything he knows, right?
No, not really. But he interned for Jason Benetti in Syracuse. They both went to Syracuse.
And Benetti's one of your good friends.
Yeah, Benetti was in my wedding or at my wedding.
Oh, must be nice.
Kevin wasn't. Take that, Kevin. Here's where I'm upset at Kevin. And I might text him right now. You didn't credit Jim when you used his stat of the Padres being just 1-9 against playoff teams in road series this year.
Well, if the Padres win tomorrow, then he
2-9.
can end the game with, and when they're analyzing it, the Padres coming into this series were 1-9, and now they're 2-9, thanks to the stat by Jim Russell in San Diego.
There's a reason why he does play-by-play and you don't.
Yeah, I would never do play-by-play.
Okay. Now, Kevin, that was a good call. And by the way, he worked in the call. The decision by Craig Counsell to stick with Shota Imanaga
and not
in the call.
Yeah, and not go to the bullpen.
They were questioning it in real time because everyone was questioning it.
Except for Craig Counsell.
Except for Craig Counsell. All right, let's go to the phones here if you want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Kevin Hasty will join us live at 5:30 from Chicago. We're giving away Aztec tickets for Friday night coming up in the next 30 minutes or so. And Richard is on line one. And Richard, you're on with John and Jim.
Gentlemen, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Calling you from Boston. I called you last night. Just wanted to touch on a few things and get your feedback. Did you guys see Marty's post, by the way, earlier today from Murphy's, what the sign said?
I did, yeah.
So I wanted you guys to know that tonight is the first night of the Yom Kippur. And on the first night of Yom Kippur in 1984 was the Garvey home run, just FYI.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Listen, I just wanted to talk to you real quick about Manny. He hit a home run in an elimination game in Philly in 22, put the Padres up 4-0. And the next half inning is when Mania and Clevenger gave up a bunch of runs. So just FYI on that.
I think that was Soto, but I'll have to go back and look.
No. It was definitely.
Oh, was Manny? Was it Manny?
It was Manny. I want to talk about this thing because Schultz driving me crazy.
Okay.
I got to talk to you about this. So when the lineup came out yesterday and that third of the order, everyone was concerned about it. That's been the biggest problem in the series. That section of the order has been a rally killer. And today, I couldn't believe what he did today. He compounded the problem. But it's like he has a chip on his shoulder and he has something to prove, and he'll just keep going down that path. I can't believe he pulled Sheets out in the fourth inning. That was insane. You take a slugger out in the fourth inning. That drove me absolutely crazy. I thought that Vermin should have been moved up higher in the order today, which would have cured that problem. And then I just wanted to get your take on tomorrow in terms of use. I'm a little concerned because the Cubs seem to have trouble with velo, and Darvish is more of a finesse pitcher. And in terms of who you think they're going to use tomorrow, you think they're going to go to King for distance tomorrow, and you think they would use Rodriguez tomorrow instead of Estrada?
Richard, appreciate
Thanks,
you,
Richard.
man. I gotta push back on Schilt. Everything Schilt did worked out perfectly. So today is not the day to jump on Schilt. I get actually going to Iglesias for Sheets, even though it didn't work. Sheets has not hit left-handed pitching. He has really struggled, and that's why Iglesias is kind of there. So if you're going to pick a spot, I thought it was a decent spot to do it. Tomorrow, I mean, it is interesting that the Cubs have not hit fastball pitchers nearly as well. And Darvish obviously has been living off breaking pitches, right? He's not throwing as hard as Dylan Cease, obviously. So the leash remains short for me. I don't know if King's covering innings tomorrow or not. I don't know if that's their dream scenario or not.
Probably isn't. Probably isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Their dream scenario is King game 1 in Milwaukee.
Correct.
The Iglesias move early in that game, career off of Shota Imanaga, he was 3 for 4 lifetime.
Right.
So Schilt playing the numbers again.
Yeah.
And he hit the ball in the screws. He just hit it right at PCA.
That's right. Yeah.
So I didn't have a problem with that move. And plus, putting in a better defender in left field than Bryce Johnson, at least with the lead, makes sense there because the longer it went with Sheets in the outfield, the longer there was more potential for something bad to happen defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So just saying, you know what, we have an opportunity here to get a matchup that we like to tack on potentially. Now they didn't, but then even if we don't, we still have the lead, and I'm putting in my best defensive outfield.
Yeah, it's like this is like going to a casino. Like you want to play the percentages that give you a better chance to win the hand.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you win all hands. There's 27 outs. There's a million different decisions you can make. But like what Schilt did, to your point, was play analytics. What Counsell did was, hey, I got a good feeling.
It didn't work.
Well, your good feeling is negated by the result.
And your good feeling was with a Hall of Famer at the plate.
And with the numbers that wouldn't support your decision.
Like, I'm just imagine the whole thing was reversed and Padres were down 1-0, runner on second, and let's say Suzuki's at the plate, and you had, I don't know, lefty on the mound. Adrian Morejon's been really good, but say you had Wandy Peralta.
Right.
Wandy Peralta's on the mound. And Schilt lets Wandy Peralta face Seiya Suzuki there.
When you got like these righties available to you or there's a base open.
I would have lost my mind. I would have absolutely lost my freaking mind if that were to happen. So Padres took advantage of it. I bet you behind closed doors, they're probably sitting there drinking a beer, laughing like, I can't believe they did that. Now, they're not going to say it publicly, but I would bet you that Schilt and his coaching staff and Preller, they're all like, could you believe they let Shota face Manny for a second time?
I almost want to pull up Chicago like Sports Talk Radio.
Me too.
At a break. Like, what is it? The Score?
Yeah.
Like, I almost want to just turn it on and hear what people have to be losing their minds in Chicago.
They didn't score. So it's kind of like, well, we didn't score a run, but still, that's not the point.
I'm still losing my mind.
I am too.
I'm still losing my mind if I'm in Chicago.
I can't believe he did that, dude.
Either can I.
My God.
And it could have been, again, I think there's a difference between protecting a 1-0 lead as opposed to protecting a 3-0 lead. So I think it factored. All right. On the other side, much more of our reaction and your reaction. Our phone lines are open, 877-767-4760, or you can text us, 70470. Start it with the word team. We're giving away Aztec tickets against Colorado State Friday night at Snapdragon Stadium, and Kevin Acee will join us live coming up at 5:30 from Chicago. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by eBay. Padres beat the Cubs today in Game 2 to force a Game 3 tomorrow. Time of that game is TBD. Manny Machado with a crucial 2-run homer today. Padres trying to advance as Padres will take on the Cubs tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field. Earlier this morning, Tigers, Guardians, Game 2 of that series. Guardians beat the Tigers 6-1 to force a Game 3 in that series. Red Sox, Yankees right now, Game 2. We're tied at 2 apiece in the bottom of the 5th inning. Red Sox lead that series 1-0. And later tonight at Dodger Stadium, 6:08 first pitch, Dodgers and Reds. Game 2, Dodgers lead that series 1-0 there. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. As Jim was speaking, the Yankees have taken the lead at Yankee Stadium, trying to force a third game in that series.
Look, we know how this is going to go for us. Yankees are going to win.
Dodgers are going to win. And what time will the game start tomorrow? 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock.
What time does John and Jim start?
TBD.
But typically 2 p.m., right?
Well, normally, yes, 2 p.m. every Monday through Friday.
Whoever's in left field for the Red Sox just dropped the ball.
Jaron Duran, good job, buddy.
Just dropped the ball. 3-2 Yankees.
Preller was like, I'm sick of this. Can't believe my boy dropped it. You know he loves Jaron Duran.
I'm sure he's sitting there right now thinking about Jaron Duran. All right, coming up in 15 minutes, let's give away some Aztec tickets for Friday night against Colorado State. Tomorrow night is the Sean Lewis Show at 6 p.m. Tonight is SDFC Midweek Live. Coming up at 6 p.m. We're reacting to a Padres win over the Cubs to force a decisive third game. Kevin Acey from Chicago will join us coming up at 5:30. The pitching matchup, Yu Darvish, the former Cub, Jameson Taillon for the Cubs. Taillon's had a good year. Darvish has not. Darvish has had postseason success, and we're going to bank on some of that tomorrow. For Yu Darvish back at Wrigley Field tomorrow in Game 3.
I went back and looked. His last 2 appearances at Wrigley Field as a member of the Padres.
Okay.
We have 13 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed.
13 innings pitched, 1 earned run his last 2 appearances?
At Wrigley Field, yes.
And that was what, 2022 and 2024 or something?
Yeah. 2022. I don't know the exact year. I just looked through the game logs here, but that's his last 2 appearances at Wrigley Field. 13 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed. He had a great, and I mean fantastic outing in 2022. 8 innings, 1 earned run. I think that was it was, I forget who was on the Cubs that time. It wasn't Shota, because Shota was a rookie last year. But yeah, he was phenomenal in that game. So his last 2 outings at Wrigley Field been really good.
I hope this one is, I mean, this is such it's a legacy defining type game. Again, not really for Yu Darvish necessarily. He's 39 or whatever it is. He doesn't necessarily need tomorrow, but man, you when you sign Yu Darvish that big deal, whenever it was a couple of years ago, I mean, you were thinking about meaningful moments like this, and it hasn't been a straight line for Darvish. He missed most of the year. He only made 15 starts. He didn't throw 100 innings. It was completely up and down. But you talk about like forget everything, like forget your up and down season if you give the Padres 4 scoreless innings tomorrow. Like forget everything. Just go out there and give them 4 scoreless innings, and nobody cares about what you did in the regular season. And again, he was signed for moments like this, and we'll see if he can come through.
Jameson Taillon, his last 7 games, he's 4-2 with a 1.85 ERA.
Oh wow, his overall numbers are good.
This year he has faced the Padres. Tatis hit a home run off him. That was the only run he allowed against the Padres. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He allowed 4 hits overall. Tyler Wade had a hit off him.
I don't think he will tomorrow.
And Tyler Wade will not. But he's pitched really well of late. His last 3 appearances, 6 innings, no earned runs against the Pirates. 7 innings, 1 earned run against the Reds. And then his final start of the regular season, 6 innings, 1 earned run against the Cardinals.
All right. That's your matchup. By the way, so Mike Schilt said all hands on deck tomorrow. Mason Miller, post-game, whatever Schilty needs. Adrian Morahone via interpreter, no matter what, I'm available tomorrow.
Where's the nearest wall? I want to run through it.
Right. So Mason Miller, whatever Schulte needs, Adrian Morahone via interpreter, no matter what, I'll be available for tomorrow. So I heard some of those Cubs reporters ask that question. Hey, Mike, because the way you use your bullpen, does that mean some of these guys? No, they're not down. Of course, they're not down.
Hey, Miller's down today, guys. In a game 3 winner, go home.
No, the problem with being down is then you could be down for the offseason. Like, they're not down tomorrow.
But he did mention,
gotta be careful.
Like how many pitches they have thrown here over the first 2 outings that they've had. I would not expect Miller to go more than 3 tomorrow is what I think. Same thing.
Yeah,
with
you got to be
Moran.
smart.
I don't expect them to go for multiple innings like they did today.
Yeah, I don't expect that, but I do expect them to appear with a lead.
I do too, but also because of that, that takes away your the opportunity to have those guys close out a game like you did today.
Cover all those innings. Like,
yeah.
All of a sudden you're going to need
Wandy Peralta
or Jeremiah Estrada for an inning. Someone's going to have to cover an inning that wasn't covered today.
If Darvish does not pitch well, yeah.
Even if he does. Darvish is unlikely to be asked to give you 5 innings. So if he gives you 4, how do you cover 15 outs?
Like if he does exactly what Dylan Cease did today, you are going to have to use Jeremiah Estrada and probably maybe Wandy Peralta, depending on how things go.
Exactly.
And you can't go to just 3 guys for 16 outs.
No, I don't think they can do that tomorrow.
No.
And does that mean Michael King gets an inning? I don't love that idea, truthfully, for a guy that hasn't pitched in relief at all, has dealt with injuries for 3 months.
Now, you could get still a 4 or 5 outs from Robert Suarez.
Yeah. But you still got to get there.
Yeah. But I'm saying is like, even if you're trailing by a run, you still can pitch him for potentially more than 3 outs. I don't know.
Yeah, you could potentially. Yeah.
But what I do feel like is going to happen tomorrow is we're going to see Miller, we're going to see Morahone, depending on how the game goes, but we're not going to see them for more than 3 outs.
You got the secret weapon, Brad C. Rodriguez. You get, again, I know this is the issue with, this guy has been unbelievable. Made 7 appearances in September. His first ever appearances in the major leagues. You're going to trust him to preserve a lead or a tie or a 1-run game? You may have to, because like you said, you can't cover all these innings with just 1 or 2 guys. They have options. They should have options tomorrow. They have a good bullpen.
Yeah.
They have 5 starters on this postseason roster. They'll be able to cover an inning or 2, hopefully.
And the one thing with the Cubs that they do have that the Padres don't right now is I think they have, for their top guys in the bullpen, I think their top guys are more fresh.
They haven't thrown as many pitches.
Right.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, advantage Cubs just from a rested standpoint and how many pitches their bullpen has thrown standpoint.
Dude, show me Pavetta.
Nah.
Anything's possible in a decisive game. Anything is possible. I can't rule anything out in a decisive game. So that's my initial approach to it. I don't think they get handcuffed by.
Did the Red Sox just tie this up?
They did. I don't think they get handcuffed by, hey, this guy pitched yesterday. What are we going to do in the 5th inning?
No, but what they could get handcuffed by is how long they use that guy tomorrow.
Which is only a maybe. I'm not fully convinced Mason Miller couldn't.
You're telling me that
get 4 outs.
Okay, if he gets 4 outs, they have to be quick.
Yeah, exactly.
He could do that. I agree with you.
Yeah,
he can get 4 outs, but he's not getting 4 outs on 35 pitches.
No, of course not.
That's not happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, they're gonna have to be quick, and he strikes out a lot of guys, obviously. So, no one's hitting him.
Right.
It's like at sometimes he's like, hey, can you just hit a ground ball to second on the first pitch?
The fielders can just check email.
Yeah. So
it's play tiddlywinks.
Play tiddlywinks.
I'm just saying that right now. Here's the example of Mason Miller throwing 4 outs tomorrow. Are you telling me with 2 outs in the 7th inning, with the tying run on, they're going to trust Jeremiah Estrada to get out of it, even though he's 3 batters in, or are they going to go to Mason Miller?
No, they're going to Mason Miller.
Exactly. And guess who's going to start the next inning?
Mason Miller. And I agree with you. I'm just looking at his pitch count.
Yep.
And if he's cruising still, then they might push it. But if he, today, The second that he hits the dude, I forget who he hit.
Yeah, on the foot or whatever.
It was like, all right, we're done.
Yep,
we're done. Right. And that's how tomorrow kind of feels like if Mason Miller is cruising and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he just walks somebody, like you're done.
Yeah, you're right. Like
and you can't go, there has to be a limit. You have to think about not only Mason Miller, but like there will be a thought in the back of everybody's mind if they are leading late of like the next series as well. I know that you have to worry about winning this series, but there's still is going to be a little thought of like, we can't just burn this guy and just leave him out there, even though he's mowing down these dudes. There has to be some thought of like, all right, his arm, his career, like Mike Schultz said today.
Of course.
Those are huge things. These guys are maxing out. 104.5 miles per hour today.
Yeah, back-to-back days.
Miller's maxing out.
I mean, Schultz said post-game they've only had 2 Padres this year throw 3 straight days. But he also said, we've saved it for now. And by the way, this is the only time they're going to be asked to do it this postseason if they even are fortunate enough to advance. There's off days coming up.
Yeah.
There's no 3 straight games in the postseason from here on out.
No.
If they can advance. So if you can do it now, you're really putting yourself in a position where you can be successful moving forward. There's so many off days moving forward. So listen, I don't want to say at the end of the season, hey, they would have won, but Mason Miller threw 16 pitches the 3rd straight day and they didn't trust him to go 20. I mean, that would be a cruel. Like you got to go with how he feels. If the guy feels good enough to get 4 outs, then he can get 4 outs.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
If you throw 16, 17, 18 pitches to get 4 outs, then that's great. The thing is, though, if he were to do that, like today, they extended him for more than 4 outs. You won't be able to do that tomorrow, is what I'm saying.
And Moreho's not covering 7 outs, which is what he covered today. Mason Miller's not covering 5 outs.
Yeah, that's also. I'm a little more worried about Morejon than I'm Miller.
7 outs is a lot. And
he's
he pitched in 3. He pitched in 3 different innings. Well, obviously 7 outs.
Has Morejon pitched on back-to-back days all year long?
Well, only 2 guys have, so unlikely. Only 2 guys have, and maybe he has. But I mean, at this leverage, right, with this type of scenario, of course not.
All hands on deck.
But also has he been taxed like this? No, I mean, obviously these guys are gonna. They're going to be sore. This is not what you normally deal with until this time of the year.
You hope that the loss of Jason Adam doesn't rear its ugly head tomorrow either.
Fair point. You could use that extra pitcher.
Hell yeah, you could.
Yeah, you really could. Because again, I'm not expecting you, Darvish, to be asked to go like 5 innings.
And I'm not either. And I'm also not confident with Jeremiah Estrada in a big time situation.
Either am I. No, you
especially
need like
late
a
in the game.
4-run lead.
If you're putting Jeremiah Estrada maybe in like the 4th,
yep,
you have
get
time,
a final out.
You have time to overcome potentially if he gives up a run or 2.
Yep.
7th, 8th, no chance.
I agree with you. All right, we'll give away Aztec tickets on the other side for Friday night at Snapdragon Stadium, the conference opener for the Aztecs against Colorado State. Kevin Acee will join us live from Chicago coming up at 5:30. We're here until 6, reacting to a Padres win over the Cubs, forcing a Game 3 of the Wild Card Series tomorrow. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference, and maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. We're giving away Aztec football tickets for Friday night. You can hear it at 7:30 right here on 760. We have 2 free tickets we'll give away in about 7 or 8 minutes, and Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30.
We talked to Kevin on Monday, and it was like, well, talk to you on Wednesday either about heading to a game 3, Padres advancing, or Padres season over.
Just those possibilities. Just 30 hours ago.
And 24 hours ago, it was looking like we were going to be talking to Kevin about a long offseason for the Pods.
But you and I, to our credit, as people freaked out yesterday, and they'll freak out again tomorrow if it doesn't go well, and rightfully so tomorrow, because that's the finality. But you and I kind of like kept people, off the ledge, so to speak. Like, okay, it's a 3-game series.
Mm-hmm.
They're a win away from putting pressure on the Cubs. Like, that's what we said yesterday. They're a win away from putting pressure on the Cubs. And here we are 24 hours later, and that's what happened. I mean, the Cubs are in the state of what happened today. What was this decision with Manny Machado? Where do we go from there? And the Padres should be the confident team right now.
Yeah, not one time yesterday can I remember us saying, season's over.
No, you might have tweeted it once or twice.
I actually never did. I never did, because in baseball, in a short series, I do feel like momentum's a thing. I do. I feel like it can change very quickly, and it can help lead you to either a series win, or it could end up being your downfall to why you lost the series. And it could change quick.
Right.
And just winning a game at Wrigley Field, I didn't feel like it was this crazy, unthinkable thing that could happen. Like, I thought that the Padres could win a game out of the first 2. That's why I said Padres in 3. I didn't think it was going to go sweep either way. Now, losing game 1, the pressure is clearly all on you to win, because if obviously you lose, you're out, Jim facts. But, as we talked about for game 1, there was like 4 or 5 moments in that game. Didn't go the Padres' way, went the Cubs' way, and the Cubs won. There were like 4 or 5 moments in this game, went the Padres' way, didn't go the Cubs' way, Padres won. Now, tomorrow, all hands on deck. I have no clue about tomorrow, but what I do know is by the Padres winning today, you now put the pressure back on the Cubs. The Cubs are the favorites here. They're at home. They're expected to win. They're in front of their fan base. Go out there and spoil the celebration tomorrow for all Cubs fans at Wrigley Field. And now the pressure is back on the Cubs.
Score first. They've done it the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah.
Do it again. I think you can really temper. The feeling when you're in a building and everyone's like waiting for something bad to happen.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah.
So that's not it. That's not where the crowd helps the home team. Like today at Wrigley, obviously, it's not the same environment as yesterday where they're sitting on that lead all day. Today, it's the opposite, and the crowd's trying to will their team back into it, but you're not getting that same energy. Same formula. The Padres formula that they love relying on. Score first, ride your bullpen. Score first, trust your bullpen. Hope you get enough out of your rotation with Darvish. And again, offensively, I don't need them to score 5 runs unless they give up 4.
Yeah.
But, just do enough, and then hopefully your pitching does what it's done by and large in this series. I mean, they've only allowed, 3 runs?
Yeah.
3 runs in 18 innings. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And when you look at, yesterday, everything was against this team. Everything. From Dylan Cease's road record and his numbers on the road and in the postseason. This team on the road just in general all year long, how they've won 1 series. They're 1-9 against playoff teams on the road this year. They've not been a good road team. The fact that they can't hit home runs. The fact that they can't hit with runners in scoring position and they couldn't, do all the fundamental things right in game 1. Like on the road, elimination game, everything was going against the Padres today, and they found a way to win, and they played a pretty flawless game. Like as flawless and as close to a perfect game as you could have asked for if you're a Padres fan today.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I mean, It felt like we were trending down a similar path of wasted opportunities, right? Hitless with men in scoring position, 1-0. It's not good enough. And then the Cubs opened the door for Manny Machado and he walked through it. And that breathing room, that changed everything for me. I felt way different once it was 3-0. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm expecting a very close game. I'm expecting a similar game to game 1 and 2, where it's hinging on a play or two, it's hinging on a bat or two, a decision or two that's going to be magnified. And hopefully they, Schilt pulls the right strings and Council pulls the wrong ones, or Manny has another moment, or Fernando Tatis Jr. I thought Tatis had a really good game.
I thought he did too.
Singled in the first, scored the run. Singled, stole a base, scored the run.
Yep.
Right. Had the defensive play in the 8th, which was a massive moment in this game.
Huge. He had a walk later in that game as well.
Exactly. So I thought Tatis was really good, but we're still waiting for like the Toddy postseason impact we've seen before, which is like the big home run.
It happened tomorrow.
So I'm kind of circling Fernando Tatis Jr. tomorrow. Not literally. I'm not going to circle him, but circling him.
Well, it all starts tomorrow with you, Darvish. It all starts with Darvish. Is he going to go out there and is he going to continue the trend from Pivetta and Cease and go out there and throw up zeros? Or is you Darvish's 5+ ERA in the regular season going to carry over to the postseason at Wrigley Field tomorrow? We'll find out. It's probably going to be a quick hook, just like how it was a quick hook today with Dylan Cease.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue is,
where do you go immediately once you go to your bullpen?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because today was more home for 7 outs.
Yeah, you don't have that luxury tomorrow.
Yeah, someone is going to have to step up in that bullpen.
Yep.
Someone for
Peralta,
like 1 to 4
Estrada.
outs.
I think you're going to see Peralta and Estrada in that lane.
Yep.
If Darvish does struggle, or if he is in a position where, has a couple runners on or a runner on and Schilt wants to go to the bullpen.
Completely agree. I think there's that. I'm calling it like best case is like 1 or 2 outs. Worst case is like 4, 5, 6 outs. You're trying to find who is that pitcher or pitchers to cover those 1 to 6 outs.
Because if you're the Cubs and you're Cubs fans, what you're doing is you're making sure that Mason Miller does not enter the game with a lead.
Right.
Because
it's hard to win.
Because if Mason Miller enters the game with a lead, you're probably in the 7th or the 8th inning, and he's been unhittable. And now the chances of you winning go down dramatically. Now Suarez, it's a little bit of a roller coaster at times, right? But that's what you're trying to avoid if you're the Cubs. Avoid the Mason Miller's in the game with a lead scenario.
Completely. Absolutely right. All right. Tomorrow, we don't know the time, but we will coming up later tonight. All right. We promised you tickets to see the Aztecs Friday night at 7:30 at Snapdragon Stadium. Guaranteed Padres off day. Win or lose tomorrow, Friday night, because it's an off day. They play Saturday if they win. They wouldn't play Saturday if they lose. But if you want to go Friday night to see the Aztecs and the Colorado State Rams, San Diego State's 3-1. Caller 7, you are going. We have 2 free tickets Friday night at Snapdragon Stadium. Call 877-767-4760 right now. If you want 2 free tickets to see the Aztecs take on Colorado State on Friday night, San Diego State playing its conference opener and 3-1 overall. 877-767-4760. Tickets are available at goaztecs.com. Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30. More post-game reaction. The Padres will see a 3rd game of the Wild Card Series. This is John and Jim.
This update's brought to you by eBay. Padres, Cubs. Padres are advancing to a game 3 after they beat the Cubs today, 3-0. Tomorrow afternoon, Padres, Cubs at Wrigley Field. We still do not know the start time of that game. It all dependent on what happens later tonight. Right now, game 2, Yankees, Red Sox in the Bronx. We're tied at 3, top of the 7th inning there. Runner on first, nobody out. Red Sox, they lead that series 1-0. And then later tonight, 6:08, first pitch at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers and Reds. Dodgers lead that series 1-0. And earlier this morning, Guardians forcing a game 3, beating the Tigers 6-1 to force a game 3 tomorrow afternoon. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it with eBay. You find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain, get all the tires you need at places or prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of John and Jim, and we do have the great pleasure of being joined by Kevin Acee in 30 minutes. Our Padres insider in Chicago, Illinois. Probably enjoying some pizza as we speak.
With tortellini?
Most likely deep dish, not tortellini.
I don't know if Kevin's like a big pizza guy. I feel like Kevin's this like kind of healthy guy.
Did we bring up the tortellini pizza with him? We did.
No,
right?
only
yes, we did.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I talked to him about it.
Who do we bring it up with? Kevin Brown?
Kevin Brown. And we brought it up with Alex Cohen, I think.
Tortellini. What is it? Tortellini?
Tortellini?
Tortellini pizza. I can't even say it.
Tortellini pizza.
Tortellini.
Anyway, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. All right. So Padres win. You were just giving. You're trying to scare me. Jim was just telling me Jameson Taillon's numbers recently. He's been filthy. I didn't realize he's been so good. His numbers overall are good. His numbers more recently are incredible. Right?
The last 7 starts for Jameson Taillon, 39 innings pitched, a 1.85 ERA.
Yeah, that's incredible.
His lifetime career numbers against the Padres actually have good lifetime career numbers off of Jameson Taillon. Manny Machado, 5 for 16 lifetime with a homer and 2 RBIs. Toddy, 2 for 6 lifetime with a homer. Jose Iglesias, 7 for 13 lifetime off Jameson Taillon. Will be interesting if they give him a start tomorrow at DH instead of Gavin Sheets, because Gavin Sheets lifetime, well, he's fine. He's 3 for 10, but still 7 for 13.
Is Iglesias starting tomorrow? Yeah, I mean,
as your DH?
I'm asking, is he? I don't know. Maybe Taillon's going to be in there for 4 innings. Yeah. Maybe he will.
But who's in your left field? Because Ryan O'Hearn's been your DH. That's right. Gavin Sheets has been in left. I don't know. I'm just giving you the numbers.
Yeah.
As far as players that have struggled against Jameson Taillon, Xander Bogaerts, 6 for 28 lifetime off of Jameson Taillon. Ryan O'Hearn, 3 for 16 lifetime off of Jameson Taillon. And Luis Ariz, 3 for 13. So those are the guys that have struggled against him. The guys that have done well: Manny, small sample size for Toddy, Jose Iglesias, and Gavin Sheets, 3 for 10. But so that's the numbers right there, lifetime.
I wonder how the Cubs' strategy now facing elimination for the first time in the postseason changes. Because today it was like, oh, we're good. Here's Shota. Yeah, you can face Manny a couple of times. You can face Toddy a couple of times. All good, even though our strategy was to use an opener. But Shota, I trust him. Tomorrow, Taillon's been great, but are they treating it more like if there is any sign of trouble, our bullpen has been terrific in this series. Look at game 1. 16 up, 16 down, right? Yeah, 16 up, 16 down, or 14 up, 14 down, whatever it was. Today, their bullpen was good. It was Shota that allowed the 2-run home run. So if there's any sign of trouble, are they going to stick with Jameson Taillon beyond an inning or 2? I don't think that's assured. And that's why also you have to be cautious with your starting lineup, because Taillon might not be long for the game. You might get 1 at bat against Jameson Taillon, and then you might get 1 at bat against Placencia and so on and so forth in that Cubs bullpen. So to me, it's probably less about starting pitching and more about just having a lineup that is able to deal with whatever the Cubs are going to do in relief. Like, are they going to throw lefties? Are they going to throw righties? Can you split up those lefties at all in your lineup? They didn't do it today. They had 3 straight lefties in their lineup again today. My guess is they have the same lineup tomorrow.
I just typed in Craig Counsell on Twitter,
just to see
Are
like
people critical?
what people are saying.
Are people on social media saying mean things?
They're saying mean things about Craig Counsell. Yes,
really.
It's not going well for Craig Counsell on social media. I can tell you that right now. The Score in Chicago, kind of losing their mind a little bit here. AJ Brzezinski losing his mind about the decision to pitch to Manny.
We have audio.
I can bring the audio. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just did it on the fly here.
Yeah. Well, I would lose my mind if I was doing. I said the other day, if I'm doing a Cubs wrap-up show, this is my whole show, and this is simple. Yes, they didn't score, and as Jim likes to say, you have to score to win.
You do,
and they're on the score, and they didn't even score. But I'm sorry, the game was as simple as you pitched to Manny Machado in a spot where nobody would pitch to Manny Machado, and he made you pay. So that's on you.
Right.
That's on you. It's not on Shota. That's on you, Craig Counsell. And can you overcome that? Like, if I'm the players and like, I'm like, what was that about? You're like, that's kind of like a hurdle to climb now. My manager put me in a worse spot to win, is what I'm thinking. If I'm in the Cubs clubhouse, like, what was that? And Brent was pulled up the score at a break, and he's like, he said they were talking about, hey, all year long, he's Mr. By the book, computerized, analytical, everything.
Yeah, that's what Matt Spiegel said.
Now it's, hey, I got a hunch.
Yeah, I put the sound in there, Brent.
Okay.
But yeah, that's exactly, I guess, like what the sentiment and the thought of why did Craig Counsell do what he do? And then looking back, you're like, wait a second. Why did you do that? You went on a hunch?
Yeah, Shota was pitching well. Did you consider walking him? Yeah, we did.
I'm just so glad that it wasn't Mike Schilt that did that today. Instead, it was Craig Counsell. And the season's over. I can't even imagine what the text line, what our YouTube chat, what the calls would be, what our reaction would be.
I mean, we spent a week on the whole situation with Melvin in 2022 and the usage of their bullpen and not going to Hader and having Suarez out there. People's like, enough. But I mean, we did spend about a week on it.
Yeah, we did. Now it kind of morphed into, instead of like going at Bob Melvin, it kind of veered off into like Hader. Josh Hader is the problem.
But we still talked about it a lot.
If that were to happen with the Padres today, and Mike Schilt decided to not walk Seiya Suzuki with a lefty on the mound and a right-hander up in the pen, and Seiya hits a 2-run homer to give the Cubs a lead, and the Cubs win the game and they eliminate the Padres.
Right.
You're not. My brain can't even compute like how it would be around here if that were to happen.
Thankfully, that didn't happen. And listen, tomorrow's another day where we're going to be talking about decisions. I have a pretty good feeling we're talking about decisions. The decisions of Mike Schilt, the decisions of Craig Counsell, and like you got to be perfect tomorrow if you're Mike Schilt. And I thought he managed very well. I mean, he managed beautifully here today. By the way, the Red Sox and Yankees. Did the Red Sox score on that, Jim?
No, they didn't score. Oh my gosh!
So you and I are rooting for what? The Red Sox. We're making a decision based on the start time of the Padres game for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for me personally, I want Red Sox Dodgers tonight. That means game time's 4:38 tomorrow.
You want the Red Sox and the Dodgers to win.
Yeah.
So you're rooting for the Dodgers.
Brent wants Yankees, and who cares, because then he can watch the game here because he can't watch it at his home.
So will you be like, how hard are you rooting for the Dodgers? You getting home and like, honey,
I'm not rooting for the Dodgers. I just know they're going to win. Like come on, it's the Reds. Like the Reds have no shot.
Last night they made it interesting for a second, but they were down like 8-0.
Yeah, say after they're down 10.
Yeah, 10-2.
Or I would root for this as well.
Okay.
Yankees Reds.
Yeah, but the problem with rooting for Yankees Reds is the Reds are unlikely to win.
I know.
Like, so if the Yankees win, the Dodgers tonight at home are minus 300. The Dodgers tonight at home are minus 300 in the postseason. Yamamoto, Zach Littell.
It's like the first pitch yesterday. Ohtani hits one 500 feet.
God. And he hit another one later.
He hit one like it went 452. It was like the hardest hit ball in StatCast era or something. It was insane. It was incredible.
Well, did you see that one meme going around about the Reds about how they didn't have a single player that hit 25 home runs and they didn't have all these things, but they somehow made it into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, because they won 83. I mean, they won 83 games.
They're the Mets. You're like, are you serious? I mean, they're going to get smacked by the Dodgers anyway, probably. But
remember, we spent so much time talking about payroll. But guess what? The Mets spent a lot of money.
They spent the most money
ever.
It was incredible. $750 million, none of it deferred
to miss the postseason.
To miss the postseason. And they, by the way,
Reds.
It was more because they also re-signed Alonso. And they made other moves as well.
So listen, I like the money too. I'd prefer to spend. We've talked about it, but that dynamic is always an important one, but it's not the end all be all.
What's the payroll difference between the Dodgers and the Reds? A lot. Yeah.
The payroll difference in the Dodgers and everyone other than like the Mets is a good amount in the National League, including the Padres. But at this time of year, man, we've talked about this a lot. Like, whatever. If the Padres face the Dodgers in the postseason, I'm not worried about the payroll discrepancy.
Tell you one thing. The last 2 days have been phenomenal if you're a baseball.
Great baseball. I've enjoyed every game. I've been watching them all intently.
Now, the Tigers-Guardians game today turned out to be a kind of blowout. Did Trevor Story just get a grand slam? Did Trevor Story? No,
not
he
even
didn't.
close, actually.
Oh, my gosh. I thought that was gone, dude.
This game is insane. This is hilarious.
Who's that for
the reaction of whoever came out in relief? Is he like a WWE wrestler? He's like doing like a finishing move. What's going on?
Who is that guy?
He's very excited.
Who was the Dodgers pitcher that everyone hated around here? It's almost fun.
Oh my God.
Gratterall.
Look at this.
Is that Brusdar Gratterall's like cousin? What is happening right now?
I have no idea. Yankees and Red Sox tied at 3, 7th inning stretch at Yankee Stadium tonight. Coming up in 1 hour, Dodgers Reds game at 2.
You see, even their own dugouts kind of just looking at him like, dude, what is he doing?
What are you doing, man? The game is tied at 3. All right, so Kevin Acee, what do we have for Kevin Acee, Jim?
Everything.
I mean, Craig, I wanted to hey, Kevin, what are you thinking in that spot when they pitched to Manny Machado?
Like, this is probably a bad decision, right?
Right.
It happened quickly. It wasn't like a 5-pitch at bat where it's a home run.
It was like first pitch?
First pitch.
Yeah.
You were wondering about the Dodgers Reds payroll difference.
Yeah.
On opening day, the Dodgers payroll was $354.8 million. On opening day, the Reds was 116.1 million.
So they have a 3 times. They've spent
Over
3 times the money.
million.
And guess what? It showed last night.
You think?
It showed last night the way the Dodgers played. All right, we'll take a timeout. More of your reaction. If you want to weigh in here, you're driving home. Padres have forced a game 3. 877-767-4760. Can they complete the come from behind series win? We're going to find out, obviously, at some point tomorrow. 877-767-4760. And then Kevin Acee will join us live from Chicago coming up at 5:30. So we react until 6 p.m. We'll have a wrap-up show for you tonight, obviously, as well on YouTube. Just search for The Wrap-Up Show. All right, Kevin Acee in 15 minutes. This is John and Jim. Stay with us. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee will join us live from Chicago coming up at 5:30. By the way, tomorrow at 6, the Sean Lewis Coaches Show. Rich and I will sit down with the head coach of the Aztecs, take a look back at last week's win over NIU, preview Friday night's game against Colorado State. It's the Sean Lewis Show on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. We do have STFC Midweek Live coming up at 6 p.m. here tonight. So Padres have forced game 3. Earlier, Cleveland forced a game 3. Tonight, the Yankees are trying to force a game 3.
Can we get a scenario where all 4 games are all 4 teams, all 4 series, go to game 3?
We could.
We could.
We've never had more than 1 until this year. We have at least 2.
There was the Sarah Lang stacks. I think I retweeted it. I read this to you during the break. Hold on, where is it? Yeah. Okay. So Sarah Lang's fantastic job.
Statistician.
This is what you tweeted out. Of the 20 teams to lose game 1 in a best of 3 wildcard series entering 2025, just 4 had forced a game 3 and none had done so while playing on the road. In postseason history, teams are only 64 and 66 in winner-take-all games in their home ballpark.
So home teams are under 500 in decisive playoff games.
It kind of makes sense.
Pressure,
yeah.
Under 500.
That's crazy.
Right? Like you wouldn't say the same in the NBA. No way the NBA teams are under 500 home.
No chance.
You wouldn't say the same in the NFL.
No.
Home teams aren't under 500.
No. Baseball, home field matters in the postseason, but we have seen, and to this point here from Sarah Lang's, I mean, you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher or the next day's pitching staff.
True.
How well you pitch. And when you're at home, the pressure of the home team, I do feel like it can get to teams.
I mean, we're talking about, you bring up an interesting point. We're talking about the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, not
their history. Their history has some ups and downs, right? It's not like every time they play at Wrigley Field, they win. Their playoff history is littered with, opportunities like the one that they have right now. It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to capitalize on it. It's just such a big stage. I mean, just to play in a game like tomorrow, both ways, it's just such a big stage, you know? And
whenever you're in a win or go home game in the postseason, man, those games, they can be excruciating. They can be so fun, especially if you win. And we all saw 2022 game 3 on the road against the Mets. Now it turned out to be a blowout game, but like I'm imagining it to be a close game tomorrow. And if it is, if you're a nail biter, you might want to wrap your nails up because you might not have any nails left tomorrow if it is a close one.
The reason I bring it up, though, it's like how many times Manny Machado's in his 14th year. How many times has he played in a winner-take-all game in his career? I don't know the answer, but it's not like a million. Like you could spend 20 years in the big leagues and play a few of these.
Win or go home game.
Win or go home. Like you said, he played it in that Mets series in 2022.
Last year with the Dodgers.
Last year in the Dodgers. So that's 2 times as a Padre. Yeah, 3 times a Padre.
2020, game 3 here at Petco.
Yep. Yeah. So there's been a few.
Were there any winner go home games with the Dodgers when he was with them?
I don't know. I'm kind of looking at his game log.
Any winner go home games with the Baltimore Orioles?
Probably.
So he's played in a handful.
But that's what I'm saying. In your whole career, guys that spent 15 years in the major leagues are going to play in a few of these. That's it. Not going to play in 20 of these. They're playing a few of these.
It's just how the postseason works. Some players, like Mike Trout, will always be known as a guy who never had any postseason history ever.
One series,
unless he goes and gets traded, but that's not happening.
Right.
So, yeah, I think when you look at tomorrow, Padres do have more postseason experience on their roster, especially in win or go home games. Cubs, they don't have that much experience in win or go home games in the postseason.
Good point.
How much does that play a factor? I don't know. Did today's experience play any role in the Padres winning today to force a game 3? You could argue, right? But Craig Counsell's also been in the postseason before. It's not like this is his first rodeo.
Right.
Now he's choked when he was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We'll see if he chokes again here with the Cubs. I mean, the whole reason why the Cubs brought over Craig Counsell was to have Craig Counsell get them to moments like today and overcome it and help this team get to another World Series.
And he was like, roll the dice.
Yeah, we're going to go with Imanaga against Manny. It's fine.
By the way, Taillon's postseason career, 4 1/3 innings, 3 runs, a 6.23 ERA. He pitched in the postseason in 2022 with the Yankees. That's it. Twice with the Yankees in 2022, 4 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 6.23 ERA.
Well, I mean, Dylan Cease coming in today had like a 13 ERA,
12.91.
and he went out and they shoved.
Yeah, he did. Credit to Cease. Hopefully, Taillon doesn't do the same thing.
So those postseason numbers for pitchers, I mean, they mean something, but I don't know how much they mean, especially when they happened 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, like Darvish's postseason numbers are good.
Yeah,
in his career,
but he's pitched in the postseason
a zillion times. I mean, look at this, how many outings he's had. He's got a 3.77 lifetime in the postseason.
Fantastic last year against the Dodgers.
He was last year in the postseason, 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs in the loss, and 7 innings, 1 run in a win at Dodger Stadium.
Darvish's last outing before the postseason, Friday night last week, 5 innings, 2 earned runs.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take 5 and 2 tomorrow? I mean, I don't think he's getting an opportunity to go 5. Would you take?
Would you take 4 and 1? I wouldn't take 4 and 2. I don't think. I don't think I would take that.
Just take 3 and 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think him allowing 1 run, you need to be able to overcome it.
You take 3 2/3 and 1.
Yeah, I think 1 run or less. Yes, anything more than 1 run, it's like the margins are thin here.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can keep it close, and then hopefully the bats can come to life tomorrow in Chicago. Let's get the latest from Kevin Acee, his thoughts on Craig Counsell's decision. Also, what's going to happen tomorrow with the Padres bullpen? Where do they turn with the usage here of Adrian Morejon and Mason Miller? Where do they turn first when Yu Darvish leaves the game tomorrow in Chicago? Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Again, coming up at 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live. And then coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m., the Sean Lewis Show right here on San Diego Sports 760. But Kevin Acee, live from Chicago, our Padres insider, will join us next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is brought to you by eBay. Padres force a winner-go-home Game 3 as they beat the Cubs today 3-0 behind a Manny Machado 2-run homer in the game. Game time still TBD, depending on what happens later tonight. Earlier this morning, Tigers-Guardians. Guardians forcing a Game 3 of their own as they beat the Tigers 6-1. Right now, Game 2, Yankees-Red Sox in the Bronx, tied at 3, top of the 8th inning. Red Sox lead that series 1-0. And then later tonight, Dodgers and Reds at Dodger Stadium, 6:08 first pitch. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead there. Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
A decisive Game 3 tomorrow at some time. Tomorrow in Chicago. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Kevin, you've been there for the first two. Obviously, tomorrow will determine who moves on. Let's start here because we've seen the usage of Adrian Morejon and Mason Miller. We know they're available tomorrow, but I wouldn't expect them to cover as many outs as they had to cover here today. Where do you think Mike Schilt turns, or what do you think the Padres are thinking when it comes to bullpen usage beyond the Morejons and the Millers come tomorrow?
I would think that, pretty short leash on you. That's just the fact of the matter. And then you do have Michael King in the bullpen. And I would think that, that's a pretty attractive option, especially if you have to go to you early or get, replace you early. And look for a place, hope that one of the many things they'll spend hours on tonight and maybe in the morning talking about is where can they get Morejon and or Miller to end an inning, right? To face one batter or something. Because they'll pitch them, but you can't. What those guys did the last couple of days and especially today was incredible, and it was a lot. That's part of why it was incredible. So you got to be careful there. And then you just hope you get it to a point by using Morgan, Bradley, Rodriguez, that you can go to Suarez again. And of course, there's Estrada, who's had a little bit of a rough time lately, but he's there, and it's all hands on deck. So, it'll be a fascinating game, both sides. The Cubs probably used some guys they didn't want to today, but they didn't really have to. I would almost say, you figure, while their bullpen maybe isn't as good, they've been pitching well lately, and they're probably in better shape than the Padres, but I haven't fully looked into that.
What were you thinking in real time when they decided to pitch to Manny instead of walk him or bring in a righty to face him?
I guess my thing was, okay, they're banking on him struggling, and they don't want to face Merrill there, but it's lefty on lefty, and I was a little confused, but then okay. I mean, I'm the other way, right? Okay, you believe in your guy out there. I guess there was also, who was the guy who came in next? I thought maybe they go there to him, but Council's explanation was that he had confidence in Imanaga.
Because on the flip side, Schilt did what a lot of Cubs fans are wishing Council did previously in the game when he put a runner on, which was the go-ahead run, and then going to Morejon in that situation. I think just, I don't know if we'll see what happens tomorrow, but that kind of feels, if the Padres ended up go and win this series, kind of feels like that moment's the moment of the series potentially.
Well, and they'll be talked about in Chicago forever, right? Luckily, they have their World Series, but this is the kind of place, kind of fan base, kind of history, kind of expectations. $8 million manager. That'll be a decision that's talked about for a long time if the Padres end up winning this, and it's one of those okay. I mean, you don't know what was going to happen afterward, but that is the manager's job to say, all right, I'm minimizing risk here. And like you said, Mike Schilt did it with Carson Kelly, and in a situation where it put a big run, potential big run on base. At the time, I was okay, I thought they were going after Manny, and that's what Manny said. It's kind of sucks. He didn't say that. He pointed out that he's struggling lately. Still, that is Manny Machado, and he rose to the moment.
Kevin Acey's our Padres insider. So would you expect they faced these two lefties, obviously by and large? I know Imanaga didn't start, but he came on. He had the bulk of the innings. The big loss for the Cubs heading into the postseason was Cade Horton. Yeah. So now they turn to Jamison Taillon, who's been very good here recently. Do you expect the Padres lineup to look identical in Game 3 as it looked against these lefties essentially in Games 1 and 2?
I would think so, because those guys were, you know, I don't want to say like linking their chops and like facing Taillon specifically, but the idea of facing a right-handed pitcher was pretty exciting for those guys that are in the middle of the lineup there, or the bottom half of the lineup, I guess. So it's difficult to see. Look, I wrote about it, and I understand all of the arguments about how things, you know, could have been different in the lineup today or you know, yesterday. But this is the lineup to put out there to face this guy.
So I know this is definitely a living in the moment take and recency bias, of course, what happened today. Manny's home run in this game, to me, Kevin, and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, they have to win, right, to make the moment be bigger. But if they do pull this off, like, it feels like his home run today, it may be the best moment of his career in a Padres uniform.
Yeah, he hasn't been great in the postseason, right? Like, I have my notes. Like, had he gone 0 for 4 today, I think he was below a 200 hitter. His numbers were pretty decent in 2022, but there weren't big moments.
He did have that home run in Game 2 off of Kershaw. That was a big moment, but that was like in like I think the first inning. But this was more of like a middle of the game, like kind of break open the game type of moment.
I loved what Tatis said, and this is how big it was. It was big any game. But Tatis said a 3-run lead in the postseason is like an 8-run lead in the regular season. And when you've got the Padres bullpen, I mean, that's what they're banking on, right? These guys are human. They're fallible. We've seen it. But they are banking on the way that they used them today is the absolute ideal. And all of the guys, I think, I mean, the only thing that could have done better is, I guess, Mason Miller not hitting the back foot of Bush with the slider. Other than that, the way they mapped it out, every reliever made it through the guy the maximum that he was supposed to make it through. That was incredible.
It really was. Kevin Acey is with us right now. Let's talk about Dylan Cease. Much maligned, has struggled in his brief postseason career, came in with an ERA near 13. This was a pretty big moment, obviously, for not just the Padres here today, but for Dylan Cease, right? To kind of erase some of those. I don't know if it's full redemption on last year's Game 4 against the Dodgers, but at least it starts that process, what he did today, right?
Hey, that's a really good way to put it. And like he said, you know, he wants another chance because, of course, this was a confidence builder, and he had talked yesterday about it being a big deal. And yes, and I'm glad that, you know, we're talking about it, and I'm glad he's getting credit, because some maybe who aren't kind of familiar or that you know, expect more, be like, oh, okay, his 3 2/3 innings was his longest start in the postseason. Big whoop. Like, that's what he was asked to do today, and he did it, and it was pretty darn good. I can't tell you for sure, but you could put this up there with his best performances of the season, given the lineup, given the moment, and given what he was asked to do and how he pitched. It was really good.
Where would you rank that Mason Miller performance today? I mean, it's just incredible, right?
Yeah, you put it together with yesterday, and what he broke 2 records. They say, you know, when you guy throws 104.5 mile an hour pitch in the postseason, they say it's the longest ever, going back to 2008 when StatCast started tracking pitches. There weren't people throwing 104.5 before 2008, so we can say that he threw the fastest pitch ever in the postseason with real relative assurance. And then was it his 4 strikeouts later, or no, 3 strikeouts later, he reached 8 in a row to start his postseason career, which is a record. I mean, just phenomenal. Just everything that you could ask. I mean, basically since he came here, and then, I mean, he fixes stuff right away. I mean, at least he has, small sample size. He fixes mechanical things right away. His slider is really, really good. And then, I mean, give me a break. To adjust to that 104.5 when you're a hitter. Wow. And I mean, you know, he's the guy. He's the fireman. Look at the situations he's come in. and there's been a lot of debate about whether he should be the closer. Like, man, this guy has come in big moments against big guys and been everything that he was supposed to be when they got him.
It's why you're willing to potentially trade away, high level prospects like they did in an effort to win in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, these moments matter, and obviously Mason Miller is a big reason why the Padres are still playing into a game 3. I thought maybe the biggest moment of the game that has gotten some discussion, but not near the discussion of the Manny Machado situation with Shota Imanaga, was the play that Tatis made when Suarez came on. Off the bat, we're just watching on TV. I'm like, there's no way this ball is playable.
Oh, it was in the corner.
Yeah, I'm like, this ball's in the corner. Now I saw Tatis was shaded that way. I just think about it though, Kevin, because I feel like if he doesn't make that play, maybe it runs in. Who even cares? The tying runs at the plate. It's either 3-0 second and third or 3-1 with the tying run at the plate. You're only in the 8th inning. Suarez is going to have to work harder to get out of that spot and the 9th. He's done it so often that you can't take it for granted. But that was as big of a moment as Tatis has had in the field maybe this year.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because of the playoffs, right? So how could I argue with that? For Tatis, it was fairly routine. Now, I guess the sun sort of peaked out or something on his way, and so it made it even harder. And I always love that when we get a little detail that puts it in perspective that it's even harder than maybe we thought. But yeah, he was shaded that way. I guess I'm glad you guys aren't undervaluing it, because I guess maybe I was. I mean, certainly I've mentioned it and I will mention it again. And it was a big deal. Like it wasn't just like, Suarez got the final out. No, like Tatis got the final out for Suarez for sure. But I'm glad that you guys are making me sort of look at it and go, yeah, you know what? Let's not take Tatis for granted. And it is a tricky right field over there, and there's a lot of room over there. And I didn't see how far he ran. But maybe there is a little chance that I was taking it for granted because that's what the Platinum Glover is supposed to do over there. But you know what? That's the reason he's the Platinum Glover.
And I think one of the reasons why John and myself are looking at that play as such a huge play is just look at his reaction. His reaction to me tells me that he made a great play, and that was a play that was a tough one. So I think his reaction. Yeah.
Did you see my story before the postseason about what people have been saying about Tatis and just sort of cruising into the playoffs and all that stuff? And like, this is exactly what I expected out of Tatis in the postseason. Like I'm not trying to discount, like, you guys made me kind of relook it. I'm going to go look at it. I'm going to check out the metrics on how far he ran, and I'm going to watch it again and all that stuff. But like, Tatis is just fired up yesterday and today. And that's the Tatis that everyone wants to see, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he had a great game today.
Good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good things are happening.
Yep, the double steal, the defensive play, the walk, like he had a great game today. There's no doubt about it. Back to the bullpen here, Kevin. What do you expect as far as pitch limit here when it comes to specifically Miller and Morahone? Because you got back-to-back days where those guys are going to be pitching. Morahone, I think he threw 30-something pitches today. You had Miller in the mid-20s. What do you expect the limit on them to be?
Like I said, I think they're looking for today, looking for spots tomorrow that could come up. That's how they go. We want to take Darvish to this batter, possibly this batter. We want to then, whoever it is after that, take this guy to that batter. And they're going to map out a bunch of different ways that Morahone, who, yes, faces righties too, but that there's one of these guys, really good left-handed hitters, is up. And that's the guy Morahone's taking down. And they hope that they hope there's at least one out. Right. He ain't facing more than 3 batters. I would think they're really going to try to get these guys into a situation where they could end the inning with an out. And because it was a lot. Now, Miller didn't throw that many yesterday, but he threw 27 today, a little shy of his season high, worked over 2 innings. But Morahone has done this a lot this year, maybe half a dozen or more times, where he worked parts of 3 innings, but worked 33 pitches, his most for our second day in a row. It's a lot, but yes, they'll be available, and I wouldn't know what the limit will be, but I will say this, and again, I speak Shildt pretty well. Before and after he said all hands are on deck, he spoke in a certain tone about what Morahone and Miller did today, which let you know that those are two guys that if they're used, it's going to be really finite.
Final one, Kevin. I want your just reaction to it. Like the Padres are playing for their season tomorrow, like the Cubs, and here we are at 7:45 Central, where you are. They don't even know the time of the game because it's contingent on Yankees, Red Sox, and Dodgers, Reds. Does the team or does the media? Do people find this unique? We're kind of new in this era of the wildcard format. This is kind of unique, right?
Yeah, this is weird. I mean, I was in the middle of so much stuff. I do want to ask people about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, in these certain situations, you're beholden to the networks. You just are. They're the ones giving you billions of dollars, right?
Yep.
So, and we know who runs it. And I know the people in San Diego were upset about these game times. Well, you're San Diego, and that's New York, Boston, and LA. And that's where the television sets are.
Yep.
So you're beholden to that. But this is crazy that Darvish doesn't know what time to wake up tomorrow.
It's insane. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is there some group text like, hey guys, get to the ballpark at this time. If this happens, it's kind of insane.
And you might not know until 9:30 Pacific, 11:30 Central. Like it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's
right.
insane.
So
it makes
like,
no sense.
if the Red Sox win, that does everybody a favor because you know it's not the earliest time slots, right?
Well, Yankees just took a 4-3 lead in the
two.
Yankees just took a 4-3 lead. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Kevin, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you Friday, no matter what happens. We'll catch up with you Friday, whether it's from Milwaukee or from back here in San Diego.
Right on. I'll talk to you guys.
Appreciate it. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. The Players Place, SDFC Midweek Live coming up at 6 p.m. We continue to react to a Game 2 win for the Padres and tomorrow's decisive Game 3 in Chicago on John and Jim. All right, final time, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. What I found interesting in our conversation with Kevin was he didn't see the Tatis catch as improbable as I saw it. Now, I wasn't there.
Oh, I thought it was a huge.
Yeah, I didn't see where he was situated, but if you watch his route again, he's got to go immediately, not just to his left, but also back. He takes a perfect route and he makes a leap to complete the catch. And then to your point, his reaction told you he wasn't certain he was getting to this ball. That's what I thought in real time. He had to do some real work to get to that ball. Now, he covers as much ground as anyone. And I did to see some of the StatCast in terms of distance and catch probability. But I thought that was one of his better catches. I really did.
Remember, he did say in postgame too that it went in the sun towards the end too, and that was part of his reaction was because he still caught it with the sun.
Maybe, yeah. I thought, do you have catch probability? I was looking at Savant, but I couldn't find it in one quick instant.
I'm going off of his reaction. That's
too.
what I'm doing.
I'm just going off my reaction. I'm like, oh, that ball's in the corner.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Off the bat, I'm like, that's trouble.
That's a double, man.
That's not good.
No, that's what I thought. Now he was there. He's seemingly everywhere. When a ball's hit to right, he just covers so much ground. Like seriously, the amount of ground he covered to make that play, he covered a lot of ground to make that play.
So what inning was it? It was Nico.
It's in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Nico
2
Horner.
outs.
Nico Horner, right? Line out.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 8th.
Yeah.
Expected batting average on that's 470.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I thought. Like, yeah, I thought there was a hit.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So he had a 50% chance of a hit in that spot, is what that's saying. And Tatis made that play. That's off the bat. I'm like, there's no way Tatis is going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's like a game-saving play to me. I don't know what happens. If
I love looking at StatCast.
It's amazing.
Because I'm looking at Manny's homer right here, right? 104.4 off the bat. His expected batting average on that should be 1,000, right?
It wouldn't have gone out of every ballpark.
770.
770?
Like what? That went 404 feet. But it was a homer in 30 out of 30 ballparks.
Yeah, so that's 1,000 then.
That should be 1,000.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Hey, StatCast, what's going on here?
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Your expected batting average for Manny's home run, that was a homer in 30 out of 30 ballparks, is only 770.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Why aren't we at 1,000 here, guys? What's going on?
All right, so Yankees Red Sox goes to the 9th. The Yankees have taken a lead at Yankee Stadium, trying to force a game 3. It's 4-3 to the 9th. This will impact the Padres' start time tomorrow. Once this game goes final with the Yankees winning, the Padres will then be narrowed down to what, 2 start times for tomorrow?
2 or 3.
2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Pacific.
Which is awesome.
So the Padres will play at either 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow or 3 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, depending on Dodgers Reds tonight, if the Yankees hold on and win game 2.
Actually, I'm wrong.
That's what I was wondering, dude.
I'm totally wrong. There are 3 start times now.
Oh, my God. You told me 2.
I'm sorry. Here we go. Here's the 3 start times. If the Yankees win this game, the 3 start times that are still available are 12:08, 2:08, 3:08.
Explain how.
If the Dodgers win tonight,
everything is the same.
No.
Oh, yeah.
If the Dodgers win tonight, it's 2:08. The Red Sox come back here, it potentially could be 4:30. Dude, there's so many.
Stop. This is the problem. This is why if I'm Schilt, like guys, just I'll call you.
All right, here's the easiest thing. Is Yankees win, Reds win, Padres Cubs tomorrow 12:08. That I do know.
Yankees win, Reds win, Padres Cubs at 12:08.
Yankees win, Dodgers win, Padres 2:08.
What happened to the 3:08 you were throwing out before?
I don't think that's in play now. I don't know, dude.
All right. SDFC Midweek Live is coming up on the other side of a break. Join us tonight. We will have a wrap-up show. Isn't that exciting to break it all down for another 90 minutes or so here tonight? If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. Darren Smith, Adrian Garcia Marquez standing by. SDFC Midweek Live on the other side. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.